From pretty much the present, this is your host, Adam Graham, bringing you a week of old-time radio detective podcasts from 2012. Because these podcasts are many years old, any offers or information included in the podcast may not be valid unless they're currently reflected on our Great Detectives of Old Time Radio website at greatdetectives.net. Here now is a week of old-time radio detective podcast.
Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham. If you have a comment, email me, box13 at greatdetectives.net. Give us a call, 208-991-4783, and become one of our friends on Facebook, facebook.com/Radio Detectives. Well, today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for all your great support. It's truly appreciated. Now it's time for today's episode of Barrie Craig, Midsummer Lunacy.
Barrie Craig, confidential investigator. Sudden loss of weight might be cause for anxiety, but one good thing at least, it makes the pallbearer's job a whole lot lighter. The National Broadcasting Company presents William Gargan in another transcribed drama of mystery and adventure with America's #1 detective, Barrie Craig, confidential investigator. Barrie Craig speaking. Once every year, an epidemic of lunacy sweeps across the nation. Some call it midsummer madness. You get sunstroke by day and moonstruck by night. I got my dose of it in a resort hotel. Jubilee Villa, the big neon sign across the roof said. Jubilee Villa, where days were given to pinochle and golf, and nights were given to lawn dances under big sheltering pines. Like everybody else, I was dancing. Unlike everybody else, I had a genuine, non-dyed, natural blonde babe in my arms.
Oh, you dance divinely, Barrie.
You'd only put that in writing, Blondie.
In writing?
I collect testimonials.
Oh.
Blondie was a vacation guest with a ruby mouth and a slim, trim Panatella chassis. Not an extra ounce of butterfat or chocolate bonbon anywhere on her. The name she gave was Linda Paris. I was kicking my heels at Jubilee Villa at Linda's own request. She'd phoned me to please come. What she had on her lovely mind, I didn't know yet. I was too busy totaling up what she had on the outside.
Well, I suppose the time has come to talk, Barrie.
Cruel words.
You've probably been wondering why I telephoned you and dragged you up here.
I stopped wondering after the second highball.
Down that path there's a grape arbor. We can be alone there.
You've enticed me.
Only to talk about my problem.
Oh.
I really do have a problem, Barrie.
Yeah, I know, with men. You've had that same one problem since the age of 3, I'll bet. But leave us sojourn. A grape arbor under the moon with a bewitching blonde at hand means all things to all men. But to a confidential cop, it only means work, police work.
You have facilities for finding out about people.
I do. Now, who do you want to find out about?
Stuart Stoner.
Who's he?
A guest here at the hotel.
So you want a confidential police check on him?
Yes. I want to do the conservative thing
Before getting too enmeshed?
Before getting engaged.
And you're afraid Stewart is a low-down fortune hunter. Is that the nub of it?
Oh, well, he led me to believe that he, too, is rich.
I'm assigned. What are the vital statistics on Stuart Stoner? Hometown, family, business, etc., and so forth.
I know nothing except that his people are supposed to be in Milwaukee society.
You'll know more when I'm through. Milwaukee, here I come. One thing about a long train ride, catch up on your back reading. Came the day after tomorrow, I returned to Jubilee Villa, full of news from Milwaukee. Bad news for Blondie.
It's all so incomprehensible to me.
Then let me repeat myself. There is no Stoner family in Milwaukee society and no young aristocrat named Stuart Stoner.
Then Stuart is a masquerader.
It would seem. And so are you, too, a masquerader, Blondie. I checked both ends of the matrimonial question mark. I'm a bug for thoroughness. Linda Paris of Brockton, Massachusetts. No such she-animal. Now, what's the real name, Blondie?
Mary Ranceroff.
A working girl.
A wage slave.
Department store ribbon counter.
No, I'm a manicurist.
You're putting on quite a big show here at Jubilee Villa. Where'd you get the wardrobe? And the $55 a day?
My savings.
Your pitch to snag a rich husband.
Just as easy to love a rich man.
Touché. All right, assignment completed. Pay me off and kiss me goodbye.
No.
No.
I still want to know about Stuart.
Like you, he's fortune hunting.
Oh. Well, you see...
You go for him. Nevertheless, and notwithstanding. Okay, then. I'll stick around a while. On the day I go, you can call me the guy who murdered Cupid. I didn't buck Stuart Stoner right away. I made a study of him first from afar. Watched his behavior like a guinea pig behind glass. A guinea pig with a pencil-lined mustache. I watched him whack a tennis ball. Well, an ace. I joined in the gallery applause. I watched him elbow up to the oval bar in the cafe lounge. Much too green in the gills for an athlete, and a haunted look around his eyes, like sleep came tough. And ordering the type of drink guaranteed to drown anyone's sorrow.
Steve, another one of the same. Double.
I watched him playing cards in the casino. A two-handed game for stakes that could lift the national debt in Pongo Pongo.
Well, that beats me. Guess it's not my night.
Well, better luck tomorrow.
That's what you said yesterday. I'm afraid I'm a little short of cash.
Oh, check is fine, Stoner. And if you're overdrawn at the bank, an IOU's just as good.
A $6,000 loss for the afternoon's play. But what made it especially interesting for me was the face of the winner. I knew the face. I'd seen it around, on the streets and in the rogues gallery. Lou Latimer, a conman, card shop, and plain crook. The question I asked myself was, why was the card shop accepting IOUs from a phony vacationer posing as a son of wealth? Latimer worked like a cop worked. He checked the pedigree of every sucker he sat down to cards with. Latimer had to know that Stuart Stoner was a made-up name. So why was Latimer accepting paper instead of cash? That evening, after a supper orgy of borscht and baked herring, I tackled Stuart Stoner in person. He was sprawled on a hammock, letting the supper digest. Evening.
Hello.
Craig's the name. Barrie Craig. You, don't feel sociable?
Frankly, I don't.
That's a surprise.
Why is it surprising?
I've watched you around the clock. Tennis, cards, chit-chat. I've seldom seen a more gregarious and sociable guy.
Well, maybe it's a question of the kind of company.
That remark meaning?
You interpret it.
You draw the line where I'm concerned.
Now, if you don't mind...
You want to be alone?
Look, Mr. Craig, I've an absolute right...
Don't let your thermometer rise, Buster. Who warned you off me?
Why do you say that?
Because that's my guess about our unfriendly little situation. So who was it?
Oh, friend of mine.
Your card partner, Latimer? What did Latimer tell you? That I was an unsavory character or something?
You're very astute. All right, he warned me that you were, well, some kind of operator. Underhanded, a type that...
Works vacation resorts.
Words to that effect, yes.
What if I now told you Latimer was describing himself?
I'd expect you to say that.
You would?
Latimer also told me you'd lie if trapped, that you'd reverse everything. That you were clever like that.
Look, Buster, Latimer's a card sharp and a crook. And let's settle a question of my veracity once and for keeps. I'm a detective. Here, squint your eyes at my credentials.
The badge is authentic?
Did Latimer also warn you that I'd flash a phony chicken inspector's badge?
I'm I'm confused.
So am I. What particularly confuses me is why a smart boy like Latimer would collect your worthless IOUs.
My worthless...
You're here using an alias. The name Stuart Stoner is made up. You've been handing a doll named Linda Paris a line of bunk. You let the impression circulate that you're loaded, filthy rich. But the odds are 100 to 1 you haven't even got cash enough to pay your board bill. You were saying?
I have nothing to say. Don't please heckle me anymore. I'm spinning.
Yeah, you are. In a steaming sweat, your eyes rolling. You subject to fits?
No. no fits. Just every now and then a feeling of suffocation, like now I blank out.
Stoner. Blank out he did, big. Eyes staring blindly and not a flutter to him, hardly a pulse. And his face contorted in ugly red folds, like it was an outside picture of some deep agony inside. I left him as he was and went for help. The house doctor had been gone for almost 20 minutes before Stoner could put words together coherently.
Please, don't broadcast what you saw tonight.
You seemed to slip into a fog then, Stoner. I got the feeling your eyes were seeing sights you were trying to shut out.
My eyes were seeing sights?
The eyes of memory, let's say. Like you were looking over your shoulder into yesterday. Like you were an amnesiac. What's in yesterday that gets you by the throat, Stoner?
Oh, you're talking talk I don't understand.
Stuart Stoner, you call yourself. But what's your right name?
Some other time, huh? If you insist on this sort of weird interrogation right now, I just want to go to bed.
Want help getting upstairs?
No, I want nothing from you.
I'll help Stuart to his room. Hello, Stuart.
Margot.
The house doctor told me you'd fainted. I came to see
Introduce me, Stoner.
Mr. Craig and Margot Swift.
Hello.
Mr. Craig?
You want him, lady? He's all yours.
Margot, if I can just have your arm.
I watched them move away slowly, her arm around his waist and a love light in her eyes. A tightly trussed look to her figure, coal black hair, colored gypsy kerchiefs around her neck, and a look of experience to her. Older than Stuart, but you'd need her birth certificate to prove it. She was that preserved. Linda and Margot, blonde and brunette. Stoner was doing okay with the ladies. A while later, in my room, while wrestling with a knot in my tie as a prelude to showering before bed, I found a typewritten note propped against my bureau mirror. The management regrets the need to terminate your stay due to a prior reservation made for room 211. Room 211 was my room. There was a deadline noted on the bottom of the eviction note. We would appreciate possession of room 211 by 9 p.m. 9 p.m. was 1 minute away. Correction. It was 9 p.m. I acted calm in the emergency. I tore up the note. That night, I had a crazy dream. I dreamed there was a load of iron hanging from the ceiling like a chandelier, hanging on a line with my head, ready to drop if the length of wire holding it ever snapped. I lay there making book the wire wouldn't snap. I was wrong. It did snap. When the iron dropped, I promptly stopped dreaming. Midsummer's night's dream, you can find yourself in strange surroundings. I imagine I found myself on the bottom of a lake. But that was too crazy, even for midsummer. What was a fact was, the lake lay around me only ankle height. I was plopped in reeds that were taller than me. The kind of reeds you find around the edge of country lakes. I had water in my nose and ears, and a stagnant pool of slop in my stomach. If I survived, I'd need a stomach pump. I lay where I was, listening to owl hoots. The owl had hooted himself hoarse before I became aware of the lump on my head. What had actually happened dawned on me very slowly. I'd been slugged senseless in room 211, carried to a nearby lake and tossed in. Attempted murder. Somebody was very careless about whether I lived or died. When I was up to it, I had questions to put to the friendly management of Jubilee Villa. The guy managing Jubilee Villa looked like a wax museum exhibit. Skin you'd hate to touch unless you were a fellow zombie. And horn-rimmed glasses with lenses so thick his eyes magnified into the size of golf balls. A brass nameplate on the desk read Otto Henser. His attitude towards me was downright contemptuous.
Mr. Craig, you expect me to give credence to this fantastic story.
I do expect.
Mr. Craig, you suffer from sunstroke.
I wear a visor cap in the sun.
Well, then it is too much to drink. A man with your imagination should never drink.
I've been on buttermilk since I arrived here. Look, Henser, I don't imagine being slugged and thrown into a lake.
Well, then at least thank your stars that you are alive.
No fault of my assailant's. My guess there is he didn't figure I'd land in a shallow bed.
Then you insist on this preposterous
At
story.
the top of my lungs. Someone in Jubilee Villa resents my being around. I'm a meddler. There's some scheme afoot and... Wait.
Yes, Mr. Craig.
The management of Jubilee Villa, that's you, wanted me out of the place at 9 p.m. tonight. Why, Henser?
A prior reservation for room 211.
Sure that's the only reason?
It is the reason, of course.
I didn't comply with the vacate request. I went to bed, and from there I was forcibly evicted. I woke up in a lake.
Mr. Craig, there is no connection between our simple request that you give up your room and this hallucination.
I'm getting awfully tired of you insinuating I'm a nut.
All right, then I will accept your story.
And your explanation of it on that basis?
A prowler. There have been other incidents, come to think of it. A trespasser entered your room. You were assaulted.
And carried a half mile from my room to the lake.
Mr. Craig, the criminal mind is something unpredictable. There is no logical pattern.
Paul, you've sure been trying to sell me one idea after another, Henser. Why?
Because I'm perplexed. Like you are perplexed. I think one thing and then I think another.
I see. Right now, Henser, I'm thinking one thing.
And what is that?
That you could be a grade A 14-carat phony. The next day, I let the con man and card shop Blue Latimer tell me a few lies.
Man has a right to live down his past, Craig.
No question.
I had a few brushes with the law once. Sure, I don't deny it.
You served a few sentences?
One sentence.
Pardon the slander.
I'm a changed man today. Pillar of the community.
San Quentin community?
Oh, the way you cops love to ride a guy.
Beastly of us.
Look, I'm a respectable businessman today.
What business?
Salesman.
Selling bunco?
Machine tools.
What are you doing here at Jubilee Villa?
Vacationing.
With a deck of cards in every pocket?
I don't play cards the same old way.
Meaning?
I play for pastime.
For profit.
So I play to win. Who doesn't?
Which brings me to a basic question.
What?
An IOU. I saw Stuart Stoner give you a $6,000 piece of paper.
I won it fairly.
Even supposing you did. How come you're accepting paper from a masquerader?
A what?
A masquerader. The name Stuart Stoner is an alias. The young man is here representing himself fraudulently.
Oh, wait a minute, Craig. Stoner's loaded. He's from a rich clan. The Stoners of Milwaukee.
He is not. That's only a cardboard front. Stoner is a phony. And you know it, Latimer.
How would I know it?
Because that's how you operate. Before skinning a sucker, you check every detail of his pedigree back to the day he was born. You know how much he's worth or how little, so you can judge how much to take him for. Well?
Well, what you say is a fact, that Stoner's a phony, then I've been rooked, huh? I'm holding worthless paper. Well, that's not me, huh?
It would appear. But I still wonder. Latimer.
What?
See the giant egg built in my skull? Up here?
Looks nasty.
Want to claim credit for it?
Oh, the way you try to cut me down.
You've some surface polish. You look distinguished in your Bermuda shorts. But you're a mug underneath. And a thug.
Look, chum, if this heckling session is over...
I've got another insult, killer.
Killer?
Until you convince me otherwise, I'll go on thinking you tried to drown me last night.
So long.
1 minute, Latimer.
Now what?
A token of my very high regard for you. Love either conquers all or it surrenders. My client, Linda Paris, born plain Mary Randbaugh, ran up the white flag.
I'm leaving for home after dinner tonight.
Goodbye to Jubilee Villa.
Yes, I'm all ready and packed.
Say goodbye to Stoney yet?
Oh, we had a long talk over breakfast.
And the gist of it?
He admitted to having assumed the name of Stuart Stoner.
What is his real name?
He couldn't say. Barrie, he didn't seem to know.
Really offering himself as an amnesiac, huh? Look, Blondie, I'm here on your account. I can't follow your example, pack up, scram, and forget. Leave everything unresolved. I'm a cop, at heart and by profession. I want to know who, what, and why is alias Stuart Stoner. I want to know what Lou Latimer's game is, and where the management, Otto Henser, fits into the scheme.
And Margot.
Oh, I'm glad you brought her up. What about the Lady Margot?
She and Stuart were close when I first arrived. I suppose I cut Margot out. Stuart began to chase me.
Well, I can't blame him now.
I've seen Margot in clandestine meetings with that man Latimer down at Privet Lake.
Anything else you've tucked away in your lovely mind as a significant detail?
Yes. Henser kept trying to involve me with other male guests as if he...
To preserve Stoner for Margot, in line with a three-way partnership. Otto Henser, Latimer, and Margot.
I don't understand.
A three-way scheme connotes loot, wolves shearing a lamb. But where's the possible profit in Stuart Stoner? What's the bait for Henser, Latimer, and Margot? Stoner's a phony and masquerader, a deadbeat.
Maybe Henser, Latimer, and Margot don't actually know Stoner's a masquerader.
If they didn't know, impossible to believe as that is, if they suckered themselves in some attempted badger game, they do know now. I told Latimer that Stoner was a phony. Now, do you want to quit or follow through?
I'm a fool not to mind my own... All right, what do we do?
Search every inch of Stoner's room and effects. You play lookout while I play burglar. The results of searching Stoner's effects were a little frightening. Later, in a woodsy hideout, Linda and I shivered over what we found.
Barrie, it's fantastic.
Lengths of copper wire, all cut down to convenient size. The tools of a strangler.
I just can't believe
Then
it.
try believing Stoner's amazing collection of newspaper clippings. These. Mystery Strangler terrorizes East End. Dateline, Minneapolis. And this one. Strangler claims elderly victim. Dateline, Seattle. And these similar clippings. Dateline, New York, Boston, Shreveport.
For one man, too.
Operate east, north, west, and south, all over the map.
Yes, the scope of it.
But this isn't one man's autobiographic collection of himself.
It isn't?
The dates on the clips cover almost 4 years. They represent a lot of stranglings and a lot of stranglers. A lot of stranglers. Some of whom have been caught and jailed. I recognize a few of the cases.
Then?
This is just a collection of clippings. Fetish is the word, I think. The pleasure the collector, call him psychopath, gets comes from the clippings themselves, let's say. The joy in some other fellow's crime.
Stuart is a madman.
It would appear. A madman or...
Or?
That's what somebody wants us to think. Mainly wants you to think.
Me?
So you'd scream and run, glad to escape a fate worse than...
All this is part of a scheme?
Well, that's my surmise.
For what basis do you have?
The character of Henser, Latimer and Company. Thoroughgoing connivers who play to win. They knew the cop and me would sooner or later send me up to Stoner's room. This stuff was planted for me to find. Enough to disillusion me and Stoner, but not enough to pinch him. No real evidence of a crime or an actual criminal personality.
What now?
Well, let Henser, Latimer and Company horse themselves into believing they hold trumps. That you're scared off. That I'm disinterested in any further to do with a nut. We make our fond farewells.
We leave Jubilee Villa?
Officially only. Unofficially, we're still around. We're holed up somewhere with our eye on this place, watching to see the next move of the gang against Stoner.
But what can they want of Stuart?
I finally come to the conclusion about that. One, Stoner is an amnesiac. Isn't sure of who he is and where from, etc. Two, he is not a poor masquerader, but a rich one after all.
Stuart, rich?
Uh-huh. Dough, position. And a good marital catch for Margot. Also profitable game for Latimer to account for the IOUs. Also a Klondike for Henser. Otherwise, there'd be no reason at all for a plot.
Well, that means they know Stuart's true identity.
They do, but Stuart doesn't. So will you join me in hiding, doll? Where do you hide with a blonde? Not being able to find a treehouse, we settled for an auto camp a quick 2 miles from Jubilee Villa, adjoining cabins. After 2 days of keeping Jubilee Villa under surveillance, we finally got a look at how Henser, Latimer, and Margot planned to play their trump card. The kind of trap they had baited for weak-minded stoners. Sweet music in the cool of the evening piped into the grape arbor. The grape arbor set with intimate tables, a canopy of freshly cut flowers, a few picked guests, and the local parson. A marriage was taking place. Margot and Stoner, with Latimer and Henser there to give the bride away.
You're not going to let them get married.
Shouldn't I?
Shouldn't? Oh, Barrie, you're teasing.
Shh. I'll stop it, Blondie, but only at a strategic moment. The strategic moment came. The man in the high collar was reaching the end of his text.
If any man knows some reason why this pair should not be joined in the bonds of matrimony, let him now speak.
Speaking, stop the wedding. I'd played cop at Jubilee Villa fine, but I hadn't played Cupid so good. Linda left in my company, as it turned out, and not in Stuart Stoner's. That is, alias Stuart Stoner.
Stuart is really Fabian Carlyle.
So Latimer confessed. The Carlyles of Honolulu. Big shipping family.
Will his amnesia...
Might disappear, might reoccur. I'm not a doctor.
Oh, I suppose I'll always regret it.
Letting the rich one get away?
Yes.
So why did you? Stoner looked like he could be coaxed all over again.
Oh, I'm sure I'll regret it.
Want a last piece of advice?
What, Barrie?
When you marry, have 8 kids. With 8 kids around, Dow, you're too busy for regrets.
You have been listening to William Gargan in another exciting transcribed mystery drama from the adventures of Barrie Craig, confidential investigator. Tonight's story, Midsummer Lunacy, was written by John Robert. Next week, it's the strange story of Blood Money, about which Barrie Craig has this to say.
In next week's story, Blood Money, an Oriental rug dealer finds himself as snug as a bug in a casket when a killer comes calling with gold in his eye. Good night, folks. See you next week.
The National Broadcasting Company has just brought you an NBC Radio Network production with William Gargan, starring as Barrie Craig, confidential investigator, directed by Arthur Jacobson. Also heard Hilary Hall as Linda, Alice Backus as Margot, Tony Barrett as Latimer, George Neese as Stuart, and Herb Ellis as Henser. Eddie King speaking. Within the next 20 seconds, a fire will break out somewhere in the United States. Lives may be lost, property damaged, homes or buildings destroyed. Yes, there are 4,600 fires in America each day of the year. They kill 11,000 persons and disfigure or severely burn thousands more. The unfortunate part of this picture is that most of these fires could have been avoided. For example, 90% of all fires which start in the home can be traced to human carelessness. By obeying a few simple rules of fire prevention from now on, you and I can protect ourselves and our families from this devastating menace. Rule 1 is don't smoke in bed or discard lighted cigarettes carelessly. Rule 2, clean out old newspapers, magazines, and other inflammable debris. Rule 3, promptly repair defective wiring as soon as you notice it. Fire won't wait until tomorrow. Rule 4, use only those cleaning fluids which will not burn. And last but not least, be careful with matches. Keep them out of the reach of small children. Remember, it doesn't pay to gamble with fire. The odds are against you every time. There's another exciting Dragnet adventure tonight on most NBC radio stations.
Welcome back. This was actually, I think, the first episode of Barrie Craig I just happened to hear, and I didn't like it the first time I heard it. But listening to it now, kind of used to how the series works, definitely fits in well. And I also have to say that I like the scene where he is, trying to avoid drowning. That was a well-done scene. I think he did one somewhat similar back when we were playing Ideal and Crime. Well, we turn now to listener comments and feedback. Art comments regarding Nero Wolfe, and particularly the episode Room 304. Very well done, even if it has a few discrepancies from the books. I like these very much. Well, thanks so much for your feedback, Art, and I hope you're enjoying the series of the great detectives of old time radio, in addition to the Nero Wolfe shows. All right, well, I do want to remind you, we also have an old time Dragnet podcast every Saturday. Been going for 5 years now. So you can listen to the latest episode, radiodragnet.com. But join us tomorrow for Let George Do It. Oh, and I should also mention we do have an app extra for those of you who have the app or the premium site. William Gargan guest stars in an episode of the Radio Hall of Fame. I think you will definitely enjoy it. And that will do it for now. We will see you tomorrow with Poirot. And then next week, another episode of Barrie Craig. This episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. And a couple notes before we do get started. This particular episode of Agatha Christie's Poirot occurs 10 weeks after the episode we played last week. This one is from May the 3rd of 1945. And there's also another actor apparently playing the role of Poirot, substituting for Harold Huber. We do not know who this other actor is. So with that said, here now is someone starred as Poirot in Murder Wears a Mask.
Agatha Christie's Poirot. From the thrill-packed pages of Agatha Christie's unforgettable stories of corpses, clues, and crime, Mutual now brings you, complete with bowler hat and magnificent mustache, your favorite detective, Hercule Poirot, in Murder Wears a Mask.
Yes?
I'd like to speak to Mr. Poirot.
Won't you come in? Your name, please?
Richard Fields.
Mr. Poirot's busy at the moment. Please sit down. I'll tell him you're here.
Thank you.
There's some magazines on the table at your left. Mr. Poirot, it's a Mr. Fields.
Eh? Well, he can wait. He's a very patient man. He only rang the bell once. Here, Abigail, I want you to taste this sauce now.
It's good.
Good? Oh, ma foi, Abigail, it is superb. There are only 3 people in the world who know how to prepare this sauce. And you are about to become the 4th. Now, you take 2 tablespoons...
Chief, there's someone waiting.
Oui, this Monsieur Fields, eh? Eh bien, I suppose we must see him. Come.
Mr. Fields, this is Mr. Poirot.
Oh, how do you do?
Bonjour, monsieur. Well, it must be an important matter which calls you away from your business at the moment when it is most active.
Well, as a matter of fact... I don't recall mentioning my business.
But it was not necessary, monsieur. The Journal of Wall Street in your pocket tells me you are a stockbroker. Since it is only now 3 o'clock, it is obvious you left your office shortly before the closing of the exchange.
Oh.
Now, you would not do this for a minor matter.
Oh, you're right. I've come to you on a matter that affects me very deeply. It concerns my daughter's welfare.
Uh-huh.
You see, Mr. Poirot, she's quite young, not quite 18. And at that, she's rather immature for her age.
Yes, monsieur, but let us come to the point, please. I have a sauce cooking, important business waiting for me.
Well...
Now, what is the young lady's difficulty?
She met this ham actor when he went up to her school to address the dramatic society. He's still quite distinguished looking in a dissolute sort of way, and she promptly became infatuated with him. It's partly his reputation, I guess. He's been a matinee idol for 20 years.
Well, that seems very normal behavior for a young girl of her age.
Yes, but the horrible part of it is that he became equally interested in her. Why, the man's old enough to be her father. Oh, you must have heard of him. His name...
Wait, monsieur, please. I should prefer to hear all the facts before you mention any names. I never like to engage in idle gossip.
This is no gossip, I assure you. I was up at this man's apartment only an hour ago. He was showing my daughter a necklace he had bought her as a wedding present.
Alors, monsieur, he woos her with diamonds. It is not illegal.
In this case, Mr. Poirot, it's immoral. She's too young to see through him.
Uh-huh. But why do you come to me?
I want you to help me break up this affair.
Oh, monsieur,
The man has led a sordid life. You're an investigator. If you dug around, you could produce proof of some of the things he's done. Proof that even Laura would have to believe.
I'm sorry, monsieur. You've come to the wrong person. My talents, such as they are not available for such enterprises. Good day, sir.
I can afford to pay you well.
Monsieur, no one in the world is rich enough to buy Hercule Poirot. Now, you will excuse me, please. I have important work in the kitchen.
All right. I can't force you to do it, but I want you to know that you're leaving me no alternative.
Eh? What do you intend to do?
Something very simple, Mr. Poirot, and at the same time, very conclusive. Good day.
Come in. Oh, Hackett. You got here fast.
I was worried, Mr. Tremaine. This is the first time you've ever called me back on my day off.
I suppose that's a pretty reckless thing to do to a valet these days.
No, sir, just startling. Is anything wrong?
I'm afraid so. You ever seen this before?
Why, yes, sir. It's the jewel case you had out this morning. I gathered it contained a pearl necklace which you bought for Miss Fields.
Yes. $10,000 necklace. A wedding present.
Yes, sir.
Open the box, Hackett.
They're very lovely, sir.
Are they?
Oh, yes, sir. Very lovely.
Hackett, you're a liar.
I beg your pardon?
You're a liar. You know perfectly well these are not real pearls.
Mr. Tremaine, surely you're jesting.
You've made a mistake, Hackett. You thought I was a complete fool, didn't you? You waited till Laura and I left for the theater at 2 o'clock and then substituted these cheap, cultivated pearls for the real ones, hoping I'd never find out until it was too late.
I couldn't do that, sir. The pair of pearls were in the safe, and I don't know the combination.
Who put them in the safe?
I did. You asked me to.
But I didn't ask you to leave the safe open, did I? I remember now that I didn't hear you twirl the knob. What did you do with those pearls?
I never touched them.
Very well. Give you your chance. I'm turning you over to the police.
Don't touch that phone, Tremaine.
Oh, you cheap, bungling thief posing as a valet. I should have realized what a bad performance it was. Well, I'm sure your experience will come in handy in prison.
Drop that phone, Tremaine.
Get your hands off me.
All right, Tremaine, you asked for it.
What are you... Put down that knife. Put down that... No!
Exit. Mr. Tremaine. Hello, Mr. Fields.
Yes.
This is Archie Tremaine.
Tremaine, where's Laura?
Right here at my place.
You filthy swine. I told you this afternoon I wouldn't have her seeing you.
Well, I don't see how you can stop her. We're getting married tonight.
Married?
Yes. We'd like to have your blessing. Why don't you come down?
I wouldn't come down. Yes. Yes, maybe I will. Sure. wait for me. I'll be down in 20 minutes.
Don't worry. I'll be here. And so will the police.
Inspector Stevens, I tell you, the next time we have dinner together, it will be in a place without a telephone. Then I will be certain at least we can finish our dessert without interruption.
Here we are. This is the place. You could have stayed and finished your dessert, Poirot. I didn't take you by force.
It is the same thing. Why, you very slyly tell me you have received an anonymous call reporting a murder. Alors, you know I cannot resist such a situation. He has excellent taste, this Monsieur Archie Tremaine. Me, I like very much these brownstone houses.
Nobody home. Place is dark. We're probably on a wild goose chase.
But the door, it is open.
Oh.
And the light switch, I presume, is here. So, and now?
Oh, we better start looking around just to make sure. Now, let's try the library first. It should be...
There's no doubt down this hall here. All these brownstones, you know, they are very much the same. There. Inspector, flash your light around, please, eh?
All right.
Here's the switch.
Tremaine. Yeah, he's dead, all right. Stabbed through the heart.
Stabbed once, Inspector, with that letter opener.
He must have dropped on the spot. There's no other blood around, just that one big pool he's lying in.
And these bloody footprints all over the floor.
They must be the murderers, Poirot. He stood over the body to make sure Tremaine was dead and didn't notice that the blood was oozing around his shoes. Then he went over to the desk here, maybe to make a call, then into the bathroom to wash his hands. He came out, headed for the door,
And, what, Inspector?
Well, footprints stopped suddenly. I don't get this.
Inspector, have you observed this newspaper? Half the front page is torn off.
You think the murderer dried his shoes with it?
No, Inspector. I believe this is what happened. He did all the things you have described. Then, when he reached this point where the footsteps stopped, he realized that his shoes were bloody. Well, he could not go out wearing such shoes, and he could not carry them in his hands. Now, he looked down, and voila! He sees another pair of shoes. Fine, clean shoes, free of any blood.
Where?
On the feet of the dead man.
You mean these shoes belong to the murderer?
But obviously. They are covered with blood, and the laces are open because the shoes are a trifle too small.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the murderer put on the dead man's shoes. He finds they are too large. So, he tears up part of the newspaper and stuffs it into the shoes in order that he may walk with more comfort.
By Jove, Poirot, I believe you're right.
Now, all you have to do is to find the owner of these shoes.
We'll try it through checking the manufacturer's code number.
Wait, perhaps I can make the task easier, Inspector. I think you will find that the owner of these shoes is a stockbroker named George Fields.
Now, look, Poirot, this is too much. You've been working your little gray cells overtime. How can you...
No. I will explain, mon ami. I will explain. You will notice that the heel of the right shoe is worn down considerably more than the left. Earlier today, this Monsieur Fields, who limps rather badly, came to see me. He uttered dire threats against someone who fitted the description of poor Monsieur Tremaine here. So you see, Inspector, I employ the sharp eyes and the ears rather than the little gray cells. And they tell me that you had better question this Monsieur Fields at once.
Well, Poirot, you were right. We've got Fields here at headquarters under lock and key. He's our man, all right. He was trying to burn Tremaine's shoes when we called on him.
You are sure he is the guilty man, eh?
Of course. He tried to tell us some cock and bull story about getting a call from Tremaine and finding him dead when he got there. Says he got his shoes all bloody before he saw the body, and then he became panicky and changed them. Just as I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the killer, all right. You said yourself he threatened Tremaine. It's an open and shut case.
Myself, I always mistrust the open and shut cases. Tell me, what of the anonymous telephone call you received?
Well, the way I figure it, Poirot, Fields called us himself, and then he thought maybe he could beat the rap, so he wiped off all his fingerprints, changed shoes with the dead man, and ducked.
Oh, a very intelligent reconstruction, Inspector. Very intelligent. Alors, I must return to my office now. If anything new develops...
I'll let you know.
Good, good. Bonjour, Inspector.
Mr. Poirot.
No. Oh, Mademoiselle Fields.
Mr. Poirot, may I please talk to you for just a moment?
Oh, but of course. I know how distressed you must be. Well, here is a bench in the corridor. I don't think we will be disturbed here.
Thank you.
Mademoiselle, let me assure you of my great sympathy if there is anything I can do.
There is, Mr. Poirot. You can prove my father is innocent.
Oh, that would be extremely difficult, Mademoiselle. All the evidence seems to point to his guilt.
Well, I don't care about the evidence. He didn't do it. He couldn't.
He was in my office, Miss Fields, and he threatened to take desperate measures.
He lost his head, but he didn't mean what he said.
And he was there in Monsieur Tremaine's apartment about the time of the murder. He admits this.
Well, of course he admits it. He has nothing to hide.
But at first, Mademoiselle, he did deny it. And the exchange of shoes, the removal of the fingerprints. Oh, no, these do not seem to be the acts of an innocent man.
Mr. Poirot, he was trapped. Someone lured him down there and planted the evidence to convict him.
That is what he tells us, and I will not say it is impossible, you know, but there must be proof.
Don't worry, I'll find it somehow. George will help me.
George? Oh, that is Monsieur Hackett, eh?
Yes, Archie's valet. He knew a lot about Archie. He's downstairs now talking to the detectives. I'll go and get... Oh, here he comes. George! George!
I beg you... Oh, Miss Fields. How are you?
George, this is Mr. Poirot, the great detective.
Well, how do you do, sir? I've heard of you, of course.
Enchanté, monsieur. I have heard fine things about you, too.
Oh, thank you.
George, you've got to help me find the murderer.
Well, Miss Fields...
Go on, say it. You think my father's guilty?
No, I won't say that, but I don't see how I can help you.
Well, did Mr. Tremaine have any enemies? Anyone who hated him?
Enemies? I don't think so. Of course, there were many people who disliked him.
Why, monsieur?
Well, frankly, sir, he was rather an egomaniac. He couldn't stand being in the background for a minute. It was always top billing for Archie Tremaine. But as I told the police, I can't think of anyone who'd want to kill him.
Well, maybe some woman who was jealous about the necklace.
The necklace?
Yes, the pearl necklace he was going to give me. You were there, George, when he showed it to me that afternoon.
Oh, yes, miss. I heard some conversation about it. Of course, I didn't see it.
Mr. Poirot, the police found the necklace, didn't they? Matched pearls with a small diamond clasp.
No, mademoiselle, I do not believe so. I myself saw everything that was found in the house, but this is the first I have heard of a necklace.
Oh.
Monsieur, I hope you will not be offended if I ask about your movements on the day of the murder.
That was the first thing the police asked me, Mr. Poirot. It was my day off. I left Mr. Tremaine's apartment shortly after he did and spent the rest of the day and the whole evening with my parents.
Oh?
I do that every week on my day off.
I see. Your parents, they live here in this city, huh?
Yes, of course. They share a flat with me.
I was merely curious, you know. Mademoiselle, I do not know where this matter of the necklace may lead us, but it gives one furiously to think. What say you, Monsieur Hackett?
I think Miss Fields has brought up something important. Something very, very important. Now listen, you two. You live with me, do you understand? The date was April 5th, Thursday, and I was here all evening.
Were you, George? That's interesting.
I don't like your tone, Daisy.
And I don't like getting the short end of the deal all of the time.
What? What is this, Peter? Hold up?
No, Hackett, I wouldn't say that, but we do all the dirty work as a rule, and you get most of the dough.
Well, this time I've done all the dirty work. And you just have to be smart. That little chubby Frenchman or Belgian or whatever he is doesn't look like much, but don't let his accent and that phony-looking mustache fool you. It's going to take great acting to make him believe that you are my parents.
And it's going to take a great deal more money to make us try it. We don't want to
All right. I'll double your share on this job, but watch yourself. That may be him now. I'll wait in the next room. Just in case.
No rough stuff, Hackett. Now, we'll handle it with kid gloves.
Yes?
Bonjour, madame. My name is Poirot, Hercule Poirot. May I have a few words with you?
Well, yes, come in.
What is it, Mama?
A gentleman, Pa. Man named Peril.
Yes, and my secretary, Miss Thatcher.
How do you do?
Howdy. Excuse my shoes being off. We wasn't expecting any callers.
Oh, no. Do not be deranged, monsieur. We will be here only a few moments.
Will you have some cherry cordial, sir? I made it myself.
Oh, madame, you are too kind. No. I wish only to ask a few questions about your son.
George, what about him?
Well, you know, I presume that his late employer was found murdered.
Oh, yes, poor Mr. Tremaine. A kinder man there never was. Every Thursday, George would come around and talk about nothing but his wonderful Mr. Tremaine.
Every Thursday, madame?
Yes, sir. His day off.
Tell me, on April 5th, the day of the murder, he was here that day too, huh?
Why, what do you mean, Mr. Perot? Of course he was here.
All day?
Oh, from, about 2:30 on. He was teaching us to play gin rummy. Do you play gin rummy, miss?
No, I'm not very good at cards, and I don't drink.
Tell me, madame, where is your son now?
I believe he's over at Mr. Tremaine's place, straightening things up, you know.
I see. Eh bien, you've both been very kind.
Oh, must you go so soon?
Well, I said it would only be a moment. Come, Abigail.
Well, I'm sorry George wasn't home. We'll tell him you were here.
Merci bien, madame.
Lovely old couple, aren't they? I don't see how their son could do anything wrong.
I do not see how he can be their son.
What?
Did you not observe, Abby, that the kindly old gentleman and his wife, they both have fair hair and blue eyes?
Yes.
But Monsieur Hackett, his eyes are dark brown. It is impossible, Abigail, for two blonde, blue-eyed parents to have anything but blue-eyed children.
May I help you, sir?
Oh, yes, if you don't mind. I am interested in a necklace which you recently sold to a Mr. Archie Tremaine.
Really? May I ask what your interest is?
Oh, my name is Hercule Poirot. I would like
Hercule Poirot, the brilliant Belgian detective.
Oh, monsieur, I am flattered. Most people take me for French.
We've heard of you, the diamond people in Antwerp. They speak your name with reverence.
Well, thank you. Now, about this necklace.
Oh, yes.
You did sell a necklace to Monsieur Tremaine, eh?
Yes, a very fine pearl necklace. See, it was delivered to him on April 3rd.
April 3rd. 2 days before he was murdered. Yeah, this puts a new light on everything.
How so, Chief?
Well, the motive, Abbe. If the motive was robbery, Monsieur Fields is clear. He himself is very wealthy. He would not kill for jewels.
But it's gone, Chief. Who took it?
I do not know, Abby. But when we find the person who has the necklace, we will have the murderer.
In that case, Mr. Poirot, you'll have to arrest me.
Eh?
You?
I have the necklace right here. Mr. Tremaine returned it on, let me see, on April 5th, last Thursday.
Monsieur Tremaine himself returned it?
Yes, Mr. Poirot. He bought it on the understanding that he could return it within 10 days. He walked in here last Thursday, said he'd changed his mind about the lady and the necklace.
And you refunded his money?
Yes. As a matter of fact, we gave him the cash. It was just after 3, and the banks were closed. He said he was leaving town that night.
Well, there you are, Chief. That brings Mr. Fields right back into the picture.
Monsieur, you are quite certain that it was Archie Tremaine who was here?
Positive. Well, his picture was in the papers every other week. I imagine everybody knew what Archie Tremaine looked like. The silver hair, the monocle.
No, then it must be so. Come, Abigail. There is still one small matter about which I must satisfy myself.
Where are we going, Chief?
To the library, Abby, to do some research.
The library? What do you expect to find there?
The biography of a murderer.
Why, Miss Fields, this is a surprise.
Hackett, I had to come here to Mr. Tremaine's house. I had to come and see for myself. Is there anything...
I'm terribly sorry, miss. I've gone through all of Mr. Tremaine's belongings, and there's not the slightest clue, not the slightest suggestion that anyone else could have killed him.
It's horrible. Horrible. They've indicted him, Hackett. They're going to try my father for murder.
Yes, I know.
They were about to let him go because of that missing necklace.
And then they found out that it had been returned.
I can't understand it. I can't believe that Archie returned it. We were going to be married. It was all agreed.
Well, miss, your father was so set against it that perhaps...
Oh, no, that would have made Archie more stubborn. If I could... Wait. I've just thought of something. What time was that necklace returned?
A little after 3, according to the jeweler. At least that's what the papers say.
A little after 3?
Yes, miss.
But that's impossible. Oh, why didn't I think of it sooner? It's impossible, Hackett, because Archie was with me at the theater from 2:30 until 5. He couldn't have been at the jeweler's.
You must be mistaken, miss.
Oh, no, I'm not.
The necklace was returned.
Well, then someone else returned it. Someone else returned it and got the money for it.
But no one had access to it except Mr. Tremaine.
Oh, no one but Mr. Tremaine. And you.
Me?
You, Hackett. You had access to the necklace, and you knew my father had threatened Archie. You're the murderer.
Sit very quietly, Miss Fields. I don't want to shoot you unless I have to.
You killed him. You stole the pearls and you framed my father. I'm going to call the police.
No, you don't. Tremaine tried that. Now he's dead. No, that won't do either. The door is locked. I locked it as you came in.
Get away from me. Get away!
I'm sorry, my dear. Now I'll just gag you so that you're not tempted to scream again. There we are. Now. Hello, Daisy. I have a little job for you. No, it's not as hard as the other one. Doesn't require as much talent. Is that laundry wagon still available? It is. Have Pete drive it down here to Tremaine's place. I'll have a bundle ready for him.
Pete.
Oh.
Bonjour, Monsieur Hackett. May we come in?
Why, the place is topsy-turvy, Mr. Poirot. I'm in the middle of packing.
Good. I may be of some help to you. You know, I have a very orderly mind. Come, Abigail. Hey. Oh, but, monsieur, this is not the middle of the packing. It is barely the beginning.
Yes, the other rooms are all done. I've left this one for the last.
And after this room is packed away...
The curtain will ring down on Archie Tremaine.
Oui. You phrase it so well. Of course, there is still the small matter of punishing the murderer.
Yes, I know. You know, I feel sorry for him.
For whom?
For Mr. Fields. He's not really a murderer. I mean, say he's not the criminal type. He was driven to do what he did.
Oh? You know, that is very interesting, Monsieur Hackett. Very interesting. I see that you are quite a student of criminology.
Well...
Oh, come, my friend. Do not be so modest. You have many accomplishments.
Have I?
But of course. For example, I would suggest that you have at one time been an actor.
What?
Oh, do not leap so, monsieur. Look, you frightened my secretary. She has dropped your glove.
Oh, yes, my glove.
Well, you startled me, Mr. Poirot. I didn't think that anybody would remember me. I gave up the theater some years ago.
Au contraire, monsieur. I do not remember you. I never saw you. But you still use the expressions of the theater. Did you not say, Monsieur Tremaine always wants top billing? You see? Tell me, what was your thought on the stage? Impersonations, n'est-ce pas?
I did some impersonations. Why?
No, I was merely wondering if your experience as an actor could have something to do with this case.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Well, by a strange coincidence, monsieur, this case involves a very clever impersonation.
Really? Oh, that's the back door.
You're expecting a delivery, eh?
No, it must be the laundry wagon. I'm sending out all the soiled stuff.
Wait, Monsieur Hackett. I will go with you.
You will... What?
I will go with you. I have a tremendous interest in this laundry.
Why, there's no need for you to go. The bundle is already at the back door.
Nevertheless, I should like to see it. You know, I have developed an overwhelming curiosity about the laundry ever since I picked up this glove from the floor.
Glove?
Oui. One solitary, unaccounted-for lady's glove. It was careless of you, Monsieur Hackett, to leave it lying about. You were much more methodical when you did away with Archie Tremaine.
What? You don't know what you're talking about.
I assure you, my friend, I know precisely what I'm talking about. You are a thief, Monsieur Hackett. You have been one since you gave up the acting 5 years ago. Ah, yes, monsieur, I looked it up. You have plied your trade by posing as a valet or butler and stealing from your employer when the opportunity presented itself. In this case, the opportunity came on the day you saw the necklace Monsieur Tremaine had bought for Miss Fields. You stole the necklace and went to the jeweler's impersonating Tremaine and received the cash for it.
Why, you're mad.
Unfortunately, Monsieur Tremaine found you out the very same day. He threatened to call the police. So you killed him. And then a delicious thought occurred to you, monsieur. The thought of implicating an innocent man. So you called the police to tell them of a murder. That was a mistake, monsieur. That was when I started to believe...
All right, Poirot. You're clever, but you talk too much. I guess Pete will have 2 more bundles to take with him. Okay, Pete.
Pick him up, Hackett.
But I thought... Where's Pete?
Don't worry, we've got him nice and safe in a patrol wagon. Right where you'll be in just a minute.
You see, monsieur? Your goose is boiled.
Be sure to listen next week when Agatha Christie, America's favorite mystery writer, brings you her favorite detective, Hercule Poirot, in the case of Death Points a Finger. Agatha Christie's Poirot is directed by Carl Eastman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Welcome back. Well, kind of an inverted Columbo-style mystery, and there are a couple of these like that on this particular series, and I think it all worked together pretty well here. So, a unique use of a laundry truck, I guess. We in this particular episode. All right. Well, for our app and premium site, Agatha Christie Extra, this will be the last one, just because of the number of available Agatha Christie old-time radio adaptations. But we will be playing Witness for the Prosecution, an old-time radio version of that. But that will do it for today. We will be back tomorrow with Let George Do It, and then join us next week with another episode of Agatha Christie's Poirot. If you've not already, I do encourage you to pick up a copy of my book, All I Needed to Know I Learned from Columbo. It's available as an ebook, and it's now available for other formats other than Kindle through Smashwords.com, and it'll also make its way into the Barnes and Nobles and Sony stores, as well as hopefully into the Apple store. But encourage you to pick up your copy, maybe for a limited time only. We take a look at 7 great detectives, their publication history, and then we see what life lessons can be gathered from them. So you want to be sure and pick up your copy, Smashwords.com or Amazon if you just want the Kindle format. Well, now it's time for today's episode of Let George Do It. And I should mention we had a lost episode here. Last week's episode was from December 18th, 1950. And of course we played the episode that aired on December 25th around Christmas time. The January 1st episode was missing. So here now from January 8th, 1951 is The Man Behind the Frame.
Personal notice. Danger's my stock and trade. If the job's too tough for you to handle, you got a job for me, George Valentine. Write full details.
Standard Oil Company of California, on behalf of independent Chevron gas stations and standard stations throughout the West, invites you to Let George Do It. The Man Behind the Frame, another adventure of George Valentine.
Prosperity for the last 32 years. Our products draw cheers. It's the best office machinery.
Hold it, you guys. Shut up. Shut up, will ya? I'm trying to talk on the telephone. How can I... Well, that's better. Bunch of crazy banshees.
Hello. Yes, now I can hear you. Lawrence Ferguson? The kid? Well, sure he works for me. Came down from Emmetsville with me just yesterday. What'd he do? Get high on too much soda pop? Oh, look, friend, whoever you are, I'm no nursemaid. Don't bother me with any of this.
Come on. Shut up, you guys.
He what? When? Where did he... Look, Lieutenant, for gosh sakes, tell me. All right. Of course. County jail. I got it. Dear Mr. Valentine, my name's Vic Burnett, Federal Office Equipment Company. You remember, the guy sold you the wire recorder for your office. Well, I'll cancel out the last 3 payments on it if you come down fast to the county jail. I need help. A crazy rube I brought into town for a convention just so he could see the sights is now staring at the inside of a cell. He's been locked up for murder. Okay, Mr. Burnett,
But I feel responsible for him. He's never been down here before. He's not even a salesman. You see, up in Emmetsville,
You
I
want
have
to
this
see him,
kid-
Valentine, or don't you?
Just a minute, Lieutenant Johnson.
He's never done anything but read comic books, but I can't let him get railroaded like a
Well,
common
I'm sure he's not being railroaded for anything, and a woman is dead, isn't she?
Miss Brooks, listen to me. This kid
That's
is
a good
absolute-
idea. You listen to it, Brooksy. Come on, Johnson.
Gladly. Valentine, wait
I
a minute.
just want to hear it from the kid himself, that's all.
What a job. My poor boy's in the hands of the law.
Oh, well, that guy's just trying to help.
I'm an old man. Guys like Burnett help me get that way.
What's eating you?
You'll see. Here, through here.
A woman was murdered, huh? Take it from there.
Hotel apartment where she lived. Name was Sally Fife. High-speed typist. Typist.
Yeah, where'd he meet her? What happened?
You'll see.
Oh, look, Johnson.
Blow on the side of the head with a bottle.
Oh. Little party?
Little gal about 35, fast talker, neat, clean, small business of her own that didn't amount to anything. Fight, sure, a fight of some kind. What else? This is a very refreshing, original story.
Why was the kid picked up? Were there witnesses?
He was caught trying to run down a fire escape this morning. Taking us all day to even pry his name out of him.
Well, I don't see
He's
why.
26. Skinny, sandy-haired, pimply-faced 26, and probably never earned more than 26 a week in his life, either. You see for yourself. Hey, wake up. Ferguson.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, sir. Sure.
Oh, don't stand up, kid. I just thought you were asleep.
No, sir, I can't see. I just shut my eyes like that. I do it in the office sometimes so people don't know I'm thinking.
Okay, I'm not sir. This is Mr. Valentine.
Sure. How do you do, sir? Whatever you say.
Yeah, hello. Sit down, Lawrence.
Yeah. You want to hear it, too, I guess. I don't feel very good, you know.
Last night you had some drinks.
Yeah. See, Mr. Valentine, I'm just a clerk in the office. Up in Emmetsville, I mean. Been there 9 years.
Uh-huh.
I've begged so many times to come to conventions of boss. It's Mr. Burnett. He
Last night you went to a movie, and after that a bar called the Silver Duck, and you had some drinks.
Uh-huh. There was a banquet on the schedule, but, of course, I'm not a regular salesman. I'm just a clerk, you know. But I do handle the boss's correspondence and the district records and things. Well, I was alone last night. I don't know anybody in the city or anything.
You knew this woman, didn't you? This Sally Fife?
No.
What?
No, I didn't. Not until then. In the bar, I mean.
He met her there. Very refreshing. It's true, too.
Go on.
Well, I had several, I guess. You know how it is when a guy's alone, on the town, so to speak. I don't remember very well, but I guess I met her. She was awful nice. Anyway, sometime later, I didn't feel very well.
Yeah, sure.
It was a long way back to the hotel, and she said she'd make me some coffee up at her place, close by. But she was nice. I don't want you guys thinking anything.
Yeah. We know all about it. Tell him what happened when you got there.
I've told you, I don't know. It's not clear. I'm not used to... I mean, I don't know whether I drank the coffee or not. All I know is that it's daylight and I'm asleep on the sofa.
All right, hold it, kid, hold it. There was a fight, wasn't there? You had trouble with this girl, and then...
Stop it. Leave me alone. All right, I ran, sure. I ran. I tried to get out the fire escape, only my head was all dizzy. I would have got away if it hadn't been for that.
That's this morning when they caught you. Get back to last night.
Well, there she was. There. What do you think? I killed her.
Oh, you did? Well, tell me about it.
Refreshing, original story.
I don't know. Tell you what. I wanted to have excitement, what it feels like to be kicked around and yelled at by all them salesmen. The clerk, sure. He'll never get any place. Well, they're all fakes, all of them. Loud-mouthed jerks I could wrap around my finger any time you ask. Salesman, I'm better than any of them.
Cut it out, kid. Now, easy. You said you killed a woman.
I must have, don't you see? Nobody else was up there, I remember. I'm sorry I shoot my mouth off, but I'm just trying to forget. I wish I was just being a clerk.
Remember, forget. It was her idea you have some coffee last night, I suppose.
Well, it seems that way. It wasn't mine. How did you know?
Oh, for the love of... Kid, haven't you ever heard of a thing like this happening to anybody besides you?
What? Well, nobody ever got in trouble like this before. Nobody ever did the things that I must...
Oh, cut it out, Rube. I can't stand it, eh? Yeah, the facts are all true, Valentine. The ones we could check. Same old story.
What are you talking about? I'm just a guy who wants...
Hasn't it ever occurred to you might be a sucker?
Oh, never mind, Johnson. Never mind. What's he held for? He signed a confession of anything?
You think I take milk away from babies? Suspicion, that's all.
Then how about taking him out of here? What's the name of that bar you said? The Silver Duck? Come on, Lawrence. I want to see if you know how to swim.
What's the idea, Mr. Valentine? This is where I was, all right.
Relax. Nobody's noticing the handcuff.
Yeah, but just to stand here all the time.
Keep watching. Neighborhood place, same people every night. It's about the same time now, too.
The girl, Valentine, that's the part of it that doesn't fit. She wasn't the type, wasn't a regular customer.
Yeah, Johnson, it does.
I'm just all mixed up. I want to go back
Lawrence,
to
on your first night in the big city, how did you meet this Sally Fife? How about a demonstration? I want to see how a boy from the stick strikes up a conversation with a strange woman.
Well, I know my way around. Oh, no. I don't know.
She said hello to him. What do you think? He probably blushed, too.
Johnson, you contradict yourself. You said she wasn't quite the type. Brisk, sharp lady with a job.
There's one. That guy.
Huh? Which one? Point him out.
There with a cigar. Just came in. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I must have seen all the people who were here last night. I remember the waiter.
Excuse me.
Valentine,
Lieutenant, wake up. What's the most likely way the kid here met Sally Fife? Got picked for a patsy or whatever it was. Somebody probably introduced him, don't you think? So I'll see you later. Hello, friend.
Excuse me.
Just wondered if I could borrow your newspaper a minute. Hey, what kind of a cigar is that?
Here's your change, Loopy. 15, 20, 25. Okay, Jake, I'll see you.
Wait a minute, friend.
The newspaper? Help yourself. See you later, Jake. And sit still. Will you pick in the fifth? Must have hit it nice, them fancy cigars, paying off your debt.
I still got to figure Hialeah. Hey, look over my arm, man.
I want to ask the bartender, Jake, here about you.
What do you want?
He's all right, mister.
Sit down. Name's Loopy, huh?
What do you want?
Turn around. That skinny young guy standing over there. Ever see him before? One next to the heavy-set man?
No. Hey, Jake, what do you let snoops like this in for?
Loopy's all right, mister.
Loopy, you haven't been doping the races at Hialeah. Papers turned to the front page. News about a murder. And that kid's picture. So at least you've seen him before in the paper, haven't you?
I didn't notice. Hey, what do you want? Here, Jake, here's my selections, all of them. I'm getting out of this.
Sure, Loopy.
Give me that.
Hey, look out.
Get your hands off
I got him, so cool off. That other guy coming is a cop.
I got nothing to be afraid of.
Oh, no. Just wanted to get rid of these notes in your pocket. Only they're not all racing selections either, are they, Loopy? Pawn ticket, huh?
Mister, I told you, Loopy here's all right.
What's going on, Valentine?
I don't know, Johnson. Pawn ticket for $1,000.
What?
Yeah. No wonder he pays his debts today. Smokes such fancy cigars.
Now, look, Golly, I ain't got nothing to hide. I just been wondering what to do about it, that's all. I'm Loopy Fife.
Huh?
Fife, did you say?
Sure. This dame got killed. Well, I've been wondering if I should volunteer as expert testimony or something. I mean, she's my wife. Rhymes. Sally Fife, she's my wife.
Well, how do you like... Come on, friend. We're going to have a little talk.
Now, let go of me. Take it easy. I ain't done nothing.
Oh, no. Just hawked a mink coat for $1,000. Well, that's what it says here on the pawn ticket. One mink coat.
Oh, his, no doubt. Well, it's a cold
All
night.
right, so what? So I did, so what? Sure, it's here, but I've done it before. She don't mind. I always get a winner the next day. Brings me luck, that's all. Raise a little quick cash. She don't mind.
If you're talking about your wife, what do you mean? That she's too dead now to mind?
Cut it out, I said. She and me were just friends, God rest her soul. So stop looking at me that way. I didn't kill her, we're divorced. Ain't it so, Jake? That's what you call platonic, that's all. Picking the guy who gave her the mink, not me. Sure, go up to Emmetsville. Big shot salesman, he's the one. Vic Burnett. Yeah, ask Vic Burnett.
We'll return to tonight's adventure of George Valentine in just a moment.
Listen to the difference. Yes, now you can actually hear authentic scientific proof of the difference between new RPM motor oil and premium-type motor oils, as designated by the American Petroleum Institute. Auto engines are equipped with irradiated piston rings, and during operation, minute particles of radioactive metal wear off the rings. Geiger counters are thus able to detect the amount of wear actually taking place. Listen now as the Geiger counters click off the difference. First, the low wear rate of the new RPM. Now, the much faster wear rate of the conventional oil. Now, new RPM again. You have just heard authentic scientific proof that new RPM motor oil cuts in half the wear rate of critical engine parts, doubles the life of the average auto engines between major overhauls due to lubrication.
Proved in the laboratory and checked out in severe road service, new RPM motor oil is sold with a money-back guarantee of satisfaction. Ask for it at standard stations and independent Chevron gas stations where they say and mean, we take better care of your car. And now, back to tonight's adventure of George Valentine.
We will have prosperity. For the last 32 years, our products have run cheers. It's the best office machinery.
Vic Burnett, the big man from Emmetsville, here in town for a convention. He wanted you to help one of his employees, the young clerk, Lawrence Ferguson, because Lawrence was locked up in jail for murder, too confused even to defend himself. The trouble is, though, the girl Lawrence said that he met for the first time last night, the night of her murder, now seems to have been mixed up with Vic Burnett himself. So, if your name is George Valentine, you're pretty much inclined to agree with Claire Brooks when she says...
I never did like his looks, George. From the day he sold us this wire machine, I didn't like the kind of stories he told.
Oh, sure, Brooksy. But don't break the recorder on account of him. You get the rest of my notes on it?
Oh, didn't you finish? I'll hook it up on the phone again.
No, that's all. Burnett didn't tell you where he was going after he left the county jail, did he?
No?
Huh. How do you like that? Write up your notes for a client that doesn't even... Well, we can't find him either, Brooksy. Salesman must have sold himself a powder and then taken it.
Mr. Valentine, now you're just getting my boss in trouble. He wouldn't have done a thing like that.
Kid, you want to save your job or your neck?
I don't know. I'm all confused. I don't feel very good. This place just reminds me...
Lawrence, we brought you here to her apartment to see what else you could remember.
Well, I'm not helping any. I know I'm not helping any, but if you just leave him out of it...
Burnett's in this up to his ears. Now, for the last time, relax. Forget what a sucker you've been and think.
I'm trying, Lieutenant. That's the couch I woke up on. I know that.
Wash the glasses. You?
No, I don't think so.
Must have been drugged.
Clean glasses. Liquor stains on the table and floor.
I came up here to have a cup of coffee, I know, but...
Kid, that husband, Loopy. You saw him in the bar when you met her. Didn't you see him up here, too, later on? Sure you did, didn't you?
I didn't see anybody here except her.
Oh, for the love... Okay, Rube, wait for us here. And by the way, there's a sergeant outside the other door.
Well, going to get around to me now, huh?
Just wanted to give you time to make your story good, Loopy.
I know you guys. Think if you keep me cool and I'll get hotter, hey? Well, let me tell you, I'm just a husband, see? But we're divorced.
I'm not surprised. She was a businesswoman. A little sharp around the edges, maybe, but standing a guy like you as a horse of another color.
Incompatible, that's all. Just one of them things. Give the little lady her happiness, I said, but still platonic. Soft spot for old Loopy. You know how it is. Which brings me to the mink coat. A little matter which was over and done with yesterday afternoon. A little loan of the mink, so Loopy could pick the horse of the right color. If you don't mind my lifting your figures of speech. Just saw her for a minute in that bar, but I never came up here later on.
Vic Burnett gave her the coat, huh?
Yes, sir, but you see...
When?
Last year.
How long's he known her?
Several years, maybe.
Fancy apartment. Her typing service didn't buy her all this.
It's how she met him. Special work on his district records or something. He's down here a lot. And she used to write to his office when he wasn't. Boyfriend, that's all. It's perfectly legal.
In love with business.
And he paid her in mink.
All right, so she knew a few things about him. So she had a liking for the finer things.
Now you're warming up, friend. She blackmailed him, huh?
She did not. You can't talk that way about my wife, God rest her soul.
A shakedown artist. So that's what you was.
I didn't say that.
Oh, stop it.
Huh?
Well, look what's here.
Picked him up over that office machine convention, Lieutenant.
You see, I wasn't running any place.
Just dodging a little. I know, Mr. Burnett. Hoping we'd have it all solved by now. All hung on somebody else. Thanks, Sergeant.
I guess you don't need me anymore, so I guess I'll just...
Oh, no, you don't, Loopy. Stick around.
Okay.
Listen to me. I want you guys to understand something. I hired you, Valentine. Don't forget that.
Yeah, to rescue a guy so dumb he walked into the oldest frame-up in history. So old, no matter what he said, no jury would ever convict him. But that doesn't mean you couldn't be the man behind the frame, does it?
Sure, he must be.
Listen, I said. I would have told you everything, but you know how it is. Head salesman, travel a lot. Why should I tell you about Sally? She was my style. She never asked more than I could afford. She was all right. She was a good sport.
When did you see her the last time?
Last night, supper. Go on, make something out of that.
There, you see, supper. He's all at supper.
How was she dressed?
Huh? Well, I don't remember. Very nicely.
Was she wearing a mink coat at supper, or wasn't she?
Sure. The one I gave her. Why?
Grab that guy.
Louis.
Oh, no, you don't. I'm no
Go back door. Grab him, Sergeant. Grab him.
He's the one. He did it. Get him.
He got away, George?
Oh, yeah, sure. Of course he got away, Brooksy. Johnson and Burnett after him like a couple of overfed bloodhounds. The kid's here with me.
Oh. Well, why didn't you go with
Wanted you to read me back some notes, that's all. You see, the closet's been all torn up, ransacked. So it had to be Loopy who got the coat, we know that. But he didn't get it until after supper. So he was up here late. Probably after he'd been in that bar.
George, He saw his wife with Lawrence, so it would have been easy for him to follow them up there and...
Yeah, sure. It was...
George?
Yeah, I'm right here. Look, I'll be back up to listen to those notes myself instead, okay?
Well, I'm just typing.
Yeah, I'll be up at the office. Let Johnson look for people. I'm all through. Wait for me. Notes for Burnett. Interviewed Lawrence Ferguson.
Oh.
Notes for Burnett. Interviewed Lawrence Ferguson in jail. Has stack of circumstantial evidence against him, including the fact that he was caught running
George,
the scene of crime.
I'm just getting started.
The only trouble is...
Oh.
Hello, ma'am. I heard that voice and thought it was Mr. Valentine.
I thought you were. You're Lawrence Ferguson, aren't you?
That's right. You mind if I sit down to wait for him? How'd you know?
No. Sit down. He described you, I guess.
Oh? I was all dressed up last night. I don't look like much anymore.
Oh, don't be silly. I thought George was with you.
I can't afford to buy the kind of clothes a salesmen do. They're jerks. You know that?
Where is George?
Oh, I don't know. He was on the phone. I was waiting for him. Then he hung up and took off like lightning. Thought maybe he'd come over here. Heard him say that. I still got on one of my handcuffs. I guess I better wait for him to take me back to jail. So that's all I'm here for.
Oh.
Go on with your work. I'll just sit here and wait.
Well, thank you.
Only trouble is a matter of a mink coat. Loopy, Sally Fife's divorced no good husband, hawked
Oh,
it
Mr.
for
Valentine didn't know yet, I guess. Loopy got the coat last night. That's what
there
made...
is. But a man who committed murder, maybe even with a coat as motive, hawk it, seems to me he'd be a lot more likely to sell it.
Mr. Valentine's a smart man, isn't he?
At the time Loopy hawked the coat, today, he didn't even know his wife was dead.
I'm sort of like Mr. Valentine in some ways. Smart.
Where is George? Tell me. If he left to come here and you were with him, he'd be here by now.
I don't know. I'm waiting. Just like you are.
Yeah. He said the closet at Sally's apartment was all ransacked. Loopy wouldn't do that, would he? He'd know where the coat was.
Maybe he already got it.
You mean while you were in that bar with his wife?
Maybe. She wasn't wearing it.
How did you know she even had a mink coat?
I don't know, ma'am. I'm all mixed up.
Yes.
Play some more. That machine the salesmen sell. Big shots. The jerks. They even got a song. Salesmen of all FOE, we will have prosperity. Not a laugh? Like a bunch of high school kids at a football game. I see what goes on. I can make more money than any of them.
Lawrence, stop. Stop. I'll play it if you want.
Sell it. Also, Mr. Burnett, it bothers me you'd hire me and still keep things secret. But you did hire me, so answer a few questions. Your correspondence up there in Emmetsville, Sally Fife did business with you, so whoever handles your correspondence would know about her. Check? And that's your clerk, Lawrence. He would have known about her through the handling of district records, too. But he insists he didn't even know her name until last night. Why?
You killed her. The poor innocent boy being framed. You killed her.
Mr. Valentine's smart.
You're stupid. You killed her and ran, but you got caught.
Don't say that! That's what she said.
I'm sorry.
They were sorry for me. They thought I'd been framed because I made it look that way. I spilled liquor on the rug and the table. I pretended. I used to give Sally information about Mr. Barnett. And then she'd get mink coats and things.
I don't care. I don't want to know.
She wouldn't give me my share. She said I was stupid, the same thing you said.
Don't touch me.
Why not? I have to kill you.
Get away.
Sally wouldn't give me my share. I got even with her. And if they caught me, I still made it look like I'd been framed. I looked for the coat, but it was gone.
Get away, I said.
But he still got away.
Stop it.
You only
Lawrence, stop it.
I wasn't sorry.
They thought I'd been framed because I made it look that way. I spilled liquor on the rug and the table. I pretended. I used to give Sally information about Mr. Burnett. She'd get me coats and things.
I don't care. I don't want to know.
You turn that thing and try to record what I say.
Stupid. The same thing you
think you got a confession, don't you? Where's the button on this crazy thing?
I didn't know. No, I didn't. You bumped it yourself.
Well, you what kind of a prove I am?
And so, Mr. Burnett, I guess you don't need a report. The kid you wanted me to help is nothing but a pin-brained loony.
Where's the button? Turn it off.
Oh, yes, it will, Buster.
Oh, George, you're here.
I'll show you the button.
George.
Oh, no, hey, Angel, cut it out. It's all over. He didn't hurt you.
But I didn't know where you were. I thought he'd done something to you.
Back when I was telephoning, he was outside with a cop. He slugged him and ran. But I told you I was coming right over.
George, why didn't you say what had happened? Why didn't
Look,
you...
now take it easy, Angel. I didn't want to scare you. I wasn't positive he was headed here, and besides, I came as fast as I could.
But you must have got here a long time ago. You must have been standing outside and listening.
Angel, it's all over,
I know you needed real evidence against him.
I wouldn't have
George,
let him hurt you, Angel. Come on, let's go.
You didn't do that on purpose, did you? I mean, not warn me and then let
Brooksy, what kind of a guy do you think... Well, it just happened that way. Oh, look, darling, come here. There. That convince you?
No. I don't believe you.
Oh,
but don't stop trying to convince me. If at first you don't succeed.
Some things can be out of sight and out of mind without creating any special problem. But you really can't afford to forget about your car's battery. Neglect the battery, and you take chances with your car's starting power with the efficiency of headlights and taillights and accessories. For your own convenience and safety, have the battery inspected periodically at a standard station or an independent Chevron gas station. A few minutes for this car saver service tomorrow may prevent hours of delay later on. And you'll know that your battery has a high enough charge, that the water level is right, that terminal posts and clamps are clean. You'll know that the battery is ready to give your car fast starts and to keep the lights bright for night driving. So for your own comfort and safety, wouldn't it be wise to ask for battery inspection tomorrow? Ask at your independent Chevron gas station or your standard station, where they say and mean, we take better care of your car. Tonight's adventure of George Valentine has been brought to you by Standard Oil Company of California on behalf of independent Chevron gas stations and standard stations throughout the West. Robert Bailey is starred as George with Virginia Gregg as Brooksy. Let George Do It is written by David Victor and Jackson Gillis and directed by Don Clark. Ken Christie as Lieutenant Johnson. Ed Begley was heard as Burnett, Roland Morris as Lawrence, Hal Gerard as Loopy, and Jim Nusser as the bartender. The music was composed and presented by Eddie Dunstetter. Your announcer, John Heaston. Listen again next week, same time, same station, to Let George Do It. Let George Do It is heard overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.
Welcome back. Well, I have to say, when I first heard that scene, this is not the first time I heard this because this was one of those that was available through radio archives. When I first heard the scene where Claire realizes that the young clerk is really guilty, it was very chilling, extremely well done performance, I think, by Virginia Gregg here, and just well written and well acted overall. I received an email from Scott who says, Adam, in the video theater, I was wondering if you would put the Invisible Man 1958 TV show on it. Thanks so much for the question, Scott. To be honest, I'm not familiar with the show, but in terms of the Invisible Man program, I do know it was a UK series, and it was made after 1957. And any UK program made after 1957 is actually still under copyright in the United States, so would not be able to play it. But thanks so much for the question. And maybe I'll learn a little bit more about that series as time goes on. All right, well, that will actually do it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with Sherlock Holmes, and join us next week for another episode of Let George Do It. Well, this episode of the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio is brought to you by the financial support of our listeners. I want to say thank you to Linda, and I'll be sending along access to the premium site, as I do with all donations of $7 or more. All right, well, now it's time for today's episode of Sherlock Holmes, The Empty House.
From New York City, the makers of Clippercraft Clothes for Men and 1,036 leading retail stores from coast to coast present the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes. Tonight's story, The Adventure of the Empty House. Well, here we are, as usual, in Dr. Watson's hospitable study, all ready and waiting for our weekly treat. What's it to be tonight, Dr. Watson?
Well, tonight, I think I'll tell you how Holmes made an unexpected and, I may say, dramatic return after many years' absence. Yes, it was so dramatic I came dash close to fainting.
Well.
But before we go into that, suppose you tell us about a happy surprise that's in store for the chaps who buy their first Clippercraft clothes. A surprise that won't shock their pocketbooks.
How right you are, Dr. Watson. New spring Clippercraft clothes are arriving constantly at fine stores everywhere. That's an important announcement for men who have always worn Clippercraft, and for those who will wear them for the first time this spring, because Clippercraft values are even more sensational today than ever before. And that's saying plenty. The Clippercraft plan concentrates the buying power of 1,036 of the nation's finest stores from coast to coast, making possible steady year-round operation, resulting in tremendous savings in manufacturing and distribution costs, and putting those savings, even in the face of today's high prices, where they belong, in your pocket. And don't forget that your Clippercraft dealer is a friendly local independent store, a store you can trust. Handsome new Clippercraft suits are only $40 and $45. Top coats in fine coverts and worsted gabardine are only $40 and $45. Sport jackets but $26.50, and superb tropicals but $33.75 to $40. Compare Clippercraft with clothes selling for many dollars more. And now, Dr. Watson, to get back to Mr. Holmes' dramatic reappearance.
Right. You know, I've always said it's a good thing to absent yourself from time to time. Makes people appreciate you when you come back. That's what Holmes said the time he was missing for 3 years.
3 years? That's a pretty long lapse of time.
Yes, it was rather. Everyone thought he was dead. What a horrible time that was. I couldn't bear to live in our old lodgings in Baker Street. Associations and everything.
Yes.
It's funny how sentimental we all are underneath. I'd taken up my quarters in a more fashionable part of town and resumed my medical practice.
It was after Holmes had succeeded in driving Professor Moriarty out of England. We all believed Holmes had sacrificed his life to rid society of that evil spirit.
That sounds terrifically exciting, Doctor. Won't you tell us how Holmes managed to put a finish to Moriarty?
What? Kill off Professor Moriarty before I've told you the rest of our adventures with him? Well, I should say not. Never catch me throwing away good material, but let's get down to cases.
Fair enough.
Very well. It was in the spring of the year 1894, when all of London, the fashionable world in particular, was dismayed by the death under most unusual circumstances of the Honourable Ronald Adair. That likeable young gentleman was the second son of the Earl of Maynooth. He lived, together with his mother, the Countess of Maynooth, and his sister Hilda, at 427 Park Lane. The youth moved in the best society, but was very fond of cards, played continually.
Aha, piling up gambling debts he couldn't pay.
Well, as a matter of fact, it came out in evidence that he had actually won as much as £420 in one sitting at his club the week previous, from Godfrey Miller and Lord Balmoral, I believe it was. His partner was a certain Colonel Moran.
But then he must have been well ahead of the game.
Oh, quite. And yet it was to this easygoing, likeable, I might even say lucky young aristocrat that death came in a most strange and unexpected form on the night of the March the 30th. He returned from his club shortly after 10, his mother and sister having gone to the opera. The butler, Peters, swore that he heard him enter the front room on the second floor, generally used as his sitting room. The night being chilly, he had lit a fire, and as it showed a tendency to smoke, one of the front windows had been opened about 4 inches. Nothing further was heard from this sitting room until 11:30, the hour of the return of Lady Maynooth and her daughter. Peters testified that her ladyship seemed rather agitated.
Gracious, Hilda. I declare I'm chilled to the bone.
Oh, sorry, Mama.
Oh, Peters, will you help me with my carriage boots?
Certainly, milady. You've returned so early. I trust the opera was not a disappointment.
Oh, no, indeed, Peters. It was heavenly. Only Mama can never bear to stay for the death scenes at the end.
So depressing, I always think.
Why, Mama, I've always thought Carmen was terribly gay. Just because he knifes her in the last scene doesn't
No, I know, but so primitive, so brutal. And that bit in the gypsy camp, where Carmen keeps turning up the ace of spades, the card of death. I had the queerest foreboding during that scene, as though Ronnie needed me. Oh, dear, I do wish he wouldn't play whist so often. I'm sure it's not good for him. A boy his age should have other interests. I wish I could get that ace of spades out of my mind. I can't help feeling it means something.
Oh, nonsense, Mama. You've just given yourself another case of the fidgets. It's the English climate that's depressing you, that's all. One day of sunshine and you'll be as gay as a lark.
I'm sure I hope so. Oh, dear, listen to that wind. Fog and rain, rain and fog. Peters, has Mr. Ronald come in yet?
Yes, milady. Over an hour ago. He's upstairs in his sitting room.
Well, thank heaven for that. I think I'll just go up and say good night to him.
That's right, Mama. Make sure he isn't sitting in a draught.
Hilda, really? I declare I don't know what children are coming to nowadays. No respect for their parents.
Good night, darling.
And you're not to sit up till all hours, mind.
No, Mama.
Really, I don't know how young girls nowadays expect to keep their looks if they never go to bed. Oh, dear, that wind, it's so eerie. Ronnie? Ronnie, dear, it's Mother. Why, it's locked. The door's locked. Ronnie, are you all right? Ronnie!
Mother, what's the matter?
Ronnie, he's locked himself in. He doesn't answer. Peters! Hilda! Oh, come quickly, I'm afraid.
Okay, Mother.
Oh, Ronnie! Ronnie! Why don't you answer?
No, don't worry, milady.
It's all right, Mother. He's probably fallen asleep.
Ronnie! Oh, Hilda, I'm frightened. Peters, can't you break the door down?
I can try, milady.
Here, let me help. Now then, both together.
There he is, milady. Fallen asleep at the desk.
But he looked so strange. Cards scattered everywhere, and look there. The ace of spades. There's blood on it. blood dripping onto the carpet. Ronnie!
Oh, Peters, quick, help me. She's fainted.
Oh, dear.
Here, put her on the couch.
No, poor Lady Maynooth.
Oh, dear, Mother.
Shall I call the doctor, miss?
Oh, never mind, Mother. It's Ronnie we have to worry about. Maybe it's not too late. Oh, Ronnie. Oh, his head. How horrible.
Shot with a soft bullet. Better not look, miss. It's not nice.
Oh, Ronnie, darling, why did you do it?
He didn't, miss.
Oh, but Peters, he must have. The door was locked on the inside.
It's not suicide, Miss Hilda. It's murder. Mr. Ronnie couldn't have done it. There's no weapon anywhere in the room.
But look here, Dr. Watson. Ronald Adair was in the second-story sitting room with the door locked on the inside.
Exactly, Mr. Harris. Furthermore, he was in the room alone.
Yes, but if someone else shot him, how is that possible?
That's what puzzled the authorities. No one could have climbed up to the open window without leaving traces of some sort. The outside wall was perfectly smooth, no ivy, no water pipes. Furthermore, there was a drop of over 20 feet from the window to the ground.
Well, then the murderer couldn't have been in the room with young Adair. He must have shot at him from the street below.
Remember, the window was open only 4 inches, and the glass was not shattered.
That would be a pretty remarkable shot, Doctor.
Furthermore, Park Lane is not an unfrequented thoroughfare, and there is a cab stand within 50 yards of the house, and yet no one heard a shot.
Nice little problem.
Yes, exactly. Scotland Yard was at its wits' end. Our old friend, Inspector Lestrade, even went so far as to consult me in the matter, knowing how familiar I was with Holmes' methods of deduction. And so I promised to have a look at the facade of Lady Maynooth's house in Park Lane to see if anything suggested itself to me.
And did it?
Now, Mr. Harris, you're anticipating again.
I'm sorry.
Well, so it was. But around 6 o'clock that evening, I found myself at the Oxford Street end of Park Lane. A heterogeneous collection of loafers on the pavement, all staring up at a particular window, directed me to the house I had come to see. Good evening, Constable.
Good evening, Dr. Watson, sir. I was told you might be dropping around for a look at the scene of crime.
Yes, nice little crowd you've collected here.
Yes, sir. Nothing like a good murder to bring him out of their house. And look at that old codger up there with the white whiskers. Pushed his way up to the front. But he ain't been out of doors for months. Looks fair dusty, he does.
Oh, you mean the bibliophile.
The what, sir?
Book lover.
Oh.
Notice the titles of the volumes under his arm. Say, let's have a look. Origin of Tree Worship. Sign Language of the Druids. Life in Early Crete. Evidently collects obscure volumes, either as a trade or a hobby.
Well. I never would have noticed. I'll hand it to you, Dr. Watson. You're almost as good with your deductions as Mr. Sherlock Holmes himself.
Elementary, my dear Constable, elementary. Poor old fellow. He's got a bad cough. Lung condition, probably. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything much to discover. No possible way of scaling the front of the building from below. How about the roof? Could he have come across from another building?
No, sir. Inspector Lestrade looked into that first thing. Roof's all divided off with iron bars. Spikes on them. About as easy to break into as the Bank of England.
Well, may as well be getting on home. Yes, I dare say even Holmes couldn't solve this.
Here's look where you're going, you clumsy fool.
Oh, I say, I'm terribly sorry. I hope you're not hurt.
Who cares about me? It's my books that matter. Struck them right out of my hand. There they are, lying all over the road. Mud on their covers.
Oh, please, let me pick them up.
No, you don't. And don't you touch them. You've done enough damage already. Mercy on us. Such a mess. Nobody appreciates good books nowadays.
Well, at least let me apologize. I'm
really
go
away, Dada. Don't bother me. Can't you see I'm busy? Go home, can't you? You're no use standing around here.
Well, maybe he's right. Good night, Constable.
Good night, Doctor.
Lestrade knows where to find me in case he wants me. Any call while I was out, Rosie?
No, sir.
Oh, good. Maybe my luck is in tonight. It's about time I had a peaceful evening at home. Oh, I spoke too soon. See what it is this time, Rosie. Croup or measles?
Yes, sir, right away.
No more privacy than a Siamese twin. Dr. Codd called his soul his own. And as for ever get... Oh, yes, Rosie, who is it, and what does he think he has?
It ain't a patient, sir.
No? What then?
I don't rightly know, sir. He's an old fellow with white whiskers, like a billy goat. Said to tell you it was your bibliophile calling.
What? Oh, the bibliophile.
You're surprised to see me so soon, eh?
Well, how do you do? Come in.
Thank you.
That's all, Rosie.
Oh, yes, sir.
Please sit down. I hope you're recovered from the bump I gave you.
Well, that's what I came to see you about, Dr. Watson.
Oh, yes?
I've got a conscience, sir, and when I chanced to see you come into this house, I came hobbling after you because I said to myself, I'll just step in and see that kind gentleman and tell him I'm sorry I was a bit gruff a while back and no harm meant. And I'm much obliged for offering to pick up my books.
Oh, not at all.
Maybe you collect books yourself?
Well, no, I can't say that I do.
Never too late to learn. Now, here's a copy of British Birds, and here's a very fine Catullus.
Yes, but...
Or perhaps this Holy War would be more in your line.
Well, really, I don't think...
A bargain, every one of them. With 5 volumes, you could just fill that gap on the second shelf. So untidy, my dear Watson, quite unlike your old self.
Holmes!
Obviously. I wondered how long it'd take you to penetrate my disguise.
You're not dead.
Your reasoning, my dear Watson, as usual, is faultless.
Well, for heaven's sake,
Easy, Watson, easy.
My dear Holmes, I think I'll sit down.
It's a very good idea. I'd better have a nip of this brandy.
Yes, I could do with a bracer.
My dear Watson, 1,000 apologies. I had no idea you'd be so affected.
Well, I'm not made of chill steel like you, Holmes. Where's my brandy?
Here you are.
That's better. So it's really you standing here in my study. Well, thank heaven, why, you old reprobate, you. How in heaven's name did you ever come back alive out of that dreadful chasm where Professor Moriarty met his death?
It's quite simple. I was never there.
Yes, but good heavens, Holmes, it's been 3 years. You let us believe you were dead all that time. Now, was that nice, I ask you?
Not nice, Watson, but necessary. You see, Moriarty's gang was still to be dealt with. I was much safer if they believed I'd met my death at the same time as their illustrious leader. For 3 years, I've been living in disguise, tracking the members of that foul brotherhood to the ends of the earth. And now I'm happy to say there's only one left to be dealt with.
But look here, Holmes, why didn't you let me know who you were when I bumped into you in Park Lane just now?
Because, my dear Watson, you were being watched by the man I'm after. The last of Moriarty's gang.
Good heavens, who is he?
Someone you doubtless know, Watson. You may have even played whist with him on numerous occasions. And lost. Most people lose when they play with the tiger, as Moriarty used to call him. A clever man, Watson. Very clever. He not only suspects that I'm alive, he even guesses I've returned to London.
Good Lord.
Yes, but I mean to take advantage of this cleverness. I've set a trap for him. I expect to catch my tiger tonight.
Tonight?
Exactly. I don't suppose you'd care to come along.
You just try to prevent me, that's all I have to say. Just wait till I get my hat and stick.
I think you'll find your old army revolver a little more appropriate, Watson.
And now, while Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson start tracking one of London's master criminals, suppose we tell you how to track down one of the most satisfactory bargains in the clothing business. Clippercraft concentrates on delivering exactly what you want in your clothes at remarkably low prices for such fine quality. You want long wear? Well, examine the rich, staunchly woven Clippercraft fabrics. You want comfort? You get it in Clippercraft through the most skillful designing experience can bring you. And you want the smartness your friends will admire? Clippercraft brings you all three. Smart styling, long wear, solid comfort, at unbelievably modest prices. It's the result of the unique Clippercraft plan, concentrating the buying power of 1,036 of the nation's finest stores from coast to coast, and bringing you amazingly fine suits at only $40 and $45. Top coats in fine coverts and worsted gabardine for only $40 and $45. Sport jackets for only $26.50, and smart tropicals at only $33.75 to $40. Yes, selling expensive clothes at inexpensive low prices at the nation's finest stores is the great big idea behind the Clippercraft plan. That's why men who know insist on Clippercraft clothes. So be sure to visit the Clippercraft store in your city.
These leading stores in the metropolitan area are proud to add their names to Clippercraft in your suits, top coats, and sport jackets and tropicals. In Manhattan, John Wanamaker Men's Stores, Broadway at 8th and 67 Liberty Street. Saks 34th, Broadway at 34th. In Brooklyn, Abraham and Strauss. In Newark, New Jersey, Boulevard Men's Shop, Kresge Newark. And in Jamaica, the B&B Clothes Shop, 16408 Jamaica Avenue.
Now back to Holmes and Watson. We find them slinking down a dark and sinister little alleyway.
I say, Holmes, do we have to do all this pussyfooting down dark mews and through smelly stables?
Absolutely, my dear Watson. It's essential that we should not be followed at this stage of the game. Yes, we've passed Manchester Street and Blandford Street. Here, down this narrow passage.
Good Lord. It's as dark as the black hole of Calcutta.
Here, scale this fence.
Scale the fence?
Now, don't tell me you've let yourself get out of condition during my absence.
Certainly not, only, do you think it's quite dignified?
Probably not, but who'll ever know? Up with you.
All right. I've ruined the knees of my trousers.
Oh, stop burbling, Watson, and come along. We've got to get into this house.
Yes, but look here, it's an empty house.
Quite. That's why I selected it. Now, where did I put that key?
Well, don't tell me you're not going to pick the lock. Holmes, you're losing your grip.
Quiet. Come in. Easy does it. Shut the door after you. Gently, my dear Watson. Gently.
Well, I'm doing my best. It was a draft. Well, now what?
Come along upstairs. We should get a good view from the windows of the upper front room.
You know, Holmes, there's something spooky about an empty house. Strange noises, boards squeaking.
Easy. We turn a corner here. Are you with me?
Oh, absolutely.
Ah, this is the room. Excellent. The light from the street lamps, all the illumination we shall need.
Look here, Holmes. There's something familiar about this street out there. Why, of course, it's Baker Street.
Exactly. We're in Camden House, which stands opposite our old quarters.
Jove, no wonder it looked familiar. But why station ourselves here?
Because it commands an excellent view of our historic dwelling. Might I trouble you, my dear Watson, to draw a little nearer to the window, taking every precaution not to show yourself.
Right.
And then look up at our old rooms. We'll see if 3 years of absence have entirely taken away my power to surprise you.
Well, the windows of our sitting room are lighted. I see there's a man sitting in front of one. Well, look here, it's you. Well, that is, at least it's your silhouette.
It's a bust of me, to be exact. Anything else of interest in Baker Street?
Let's see. There's two disreputable-looking fellows leaning against a lamp-post.
Excellent, Watson. I expected them.
Holmes, good heavens, your head. I mean the dummy. It moved.
Of course, our old friend Mrs. Hudson has orders to move it from below from time to time. Listen, what was that?
Sounded like a door closing.
Yes. I felt a draft. By all that's holy, he's going to operate from inside this building. I expected he'd work from the street as he did before. Quick, Watson, we've got to get out of here. He'll probably want this window.
You mean whoever we're after, he's coming in here?
Of course. Quick, Watson, into the next room. Here. Stand in the shadow where we can watch him without being seen.
I hear footsteps. He's coming.
Quiet if you value your life.
Standing in the doorway. His face is in the shadow of his hat. Great Scott, his eyes blaze in the dark like a cat's.
Like a tiger's, Watson.
He's crossing to the window. He's raising the window.
Not very far, Watson. That won't be necessary.
His stick. His walking stick. Why is he pointing it out of the window?
It's a gun, Watson. Devilish invention. Doesn't make a sound. He's going to take a shot at my silhouette. When we hear the window across the street crash, we know he's fired.
He's aiming.
Get him, Watson, get him! Here, I've got it!
Don't move, you want...
The gun, Watson!
Thought you had me, eh? Well, not before I squeeze the life out of you!
Holmes!
Oh, no, you don't! Watson. Watson, are you all right? I knocked him out.
Absolutely. What's that for?
There's two men from Scotland Yard down in the street leaning against the lamppost. I must say I thought our friend here would do his dirty work outside so they could deal with him firsthand. Here come the regulars. Well, well, if it isn't Lestrade.
You bet it is. It took the job myself. And maybe we weren't glad to get your message at Scotland Yard half an hour ago. Although I must say we've done pretty well down there in your absence.
Really? Solved the Ronald Adair mystery yet?
Oh, well, that is...
Our sleeping beauty seems to be coming too. Gentlemen, allow me to present Colonel Sebastian Moran, late of Her Majesty's Indian Army. I believe I'm correct, Colonel, in saying that your bag of tigers still remains unrivaled.
You go to blazes.
Yes, a remarkable shot. You and your air gun were invaluable to the late Professor Moriarty, eh?
I might have known that wasn't you in the window.
Quite. I'm surprised that such a simple stratagem could deceive so old a shikar.
What do you mean by that?
How often, Colonel, have you tethered a goat to a tree, lain above it with your rifle, and waited for the bait to attract your tiger? This empty house is my tree. You are my tiger. The only difference being that I did not care to be the goat myself. Take him away, Lestrade.
Just a moment. You can't arrest me for taking a shot at a dummy, not even if it's the dummy of Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, quite right. I arrest you for the murder of the Honorable Ronald Adair, because you are the only man alive capable of shooting a man through the slightly opened window from the street below without being heard. A truly remarkable shot, Colonel. A bit too remarkable. That's how I knew you were the murderer.
Now come along, you. Frank, bring that stick along.
Right, sir.
We'll need it as evidence.
Well, Watson, what do you say? Shall we step across the street to our old quarters?
Right-o.
I think you'll find everything just as it used to be, and I'm sure Mrs. Hudson is anxiously awaiting us with sandwiches and a steaming pot of coffee. You see, I remember your weakness.
My weakness? I like that. And that, Mr. Harris, is the story of how I went to live in Baker Street again and started another series of incredible and amazing adventures, which I shall tell you about, if it won't bore you.
Well, what do you think, Dr. Watson? You know, there's just one thing I don't understand about tonight's story, though. Why did Colonel Moran kill Ronald Adair?
Because Adair had discovered Moran was cheating at cards and threatened to expose him. You remember that I said Adair had won £400 at whist the week before with Moran as his partner.
Yes.
That amount made Adair suspicious. He discovered the cards were marked. The very cards, by the way, which were found beside the dead body. He was examining them again to be sure he'd made no mistake. That's why the door was locked on the inside. He didn't want anyone to interrupt him.
I see. Well, what about next week's story, Dr. Watson?
Let me think. Next week, suppose I tell you about a rather curious dinner that Holmes and I attended in order to see if we could discover if a world-famous violinist was trying to poison his wife.
Did you succeed?
In a way, yes. Of course, there was a death, but I'll tell you all about it next week.
The makers of Clipper Craft Clothes and 1,036 leading stores from coast to coast have brought you another in the new series of broadcasts featuring the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes. Our stories are based upon the character of Sherlock Holmes, created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Sherlock Holmes is played by John Stanley, Dr. Watson by Alfred Shirley, and the dramatizations are by Edith Meiser. Sherlock Holmes is produced and directed by Basil Lochran, with special music by Albert Berman. If you don't know your Clippercraft dealer, write Clippercraft, 200 Fifth Avenue, New York City. Be sure to listen next Sunday to Sherlock Holmes in The Case of the Very Best Butter. This is Cy Harris speaking for Clippercraft Clothes. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Following station identification, you'll hear Melvin Elliott with a 15-minute summary of the latest news.
Welcome back. Well, I don't know. The reasoning for not doing the final problem before doing the empty house, I would say was somewhat dubious on the part of Dr. Watson. Long-time Sherlock Holmes fans kind of already know what happened to Sherlock Holmes. And those who aren't big Sherlock Holmes fans, well, what Dr. Watson revealed was that Moriarty does end up being killed off. So, it would have been nice to hear this consecutively with the final problem. But overall, a pretty solid story. I actually read a story in Ellery Queen magazine. I forget whether it was the February or January issue of Ellery Queen, but they had a kind of alternate, unofficial, but really true story of behind what happened with the empty house. It's kind of an interesting take. I'm glad, though, that other writers aren't able to add to the Holmes canon, but it was a fun thought experiment. All right, well, listener comments and feedback are up. First, Tom, comments on Facebook. I stumbled across your series the other week and have to say that I love the Sherlock Holmes stories. I was amazed to hear the Petri wine commercial and was thrilled to hear there were more adventures than I had on my iPod. I happen to be a big fan of Basil Rathbone as Sherlock Holmes, but in episode 524, The Cadaver in the Roman Toga, I actually enjoyed hearing Dr. Watson snap back at Holmes. I got the impression that Watson finally had it when it came to Holmes's comment on his knowledge, and to be honest, if I was with Sherlock Holmes and his intelligence for that long, I suppose I would snap back too. Anyway, keep up the great work, and I have a question. Have you done the story about the Musgrave ritual? It's my favorite Holmes story. I don't think we have, no, we have not done the Musgrave ritual, yet. So that one is still to come. So, but thank you so much for the comment. Received this email from Lance who says, love the show. I was wondering if you were going to play Orson Welles' Sherlock Holmes. Indeed we did. That was actually one of the earlier ones we did, the Immortal Sherlock Holmes. That was episode 0034. And you can, if you go to greatdetectives.net, there's a search box right at the top, so you can put in the Immortal Sherlock Holmes, and it comes up as like the top 3 choice, or you can put EP 0034. And it should come up pretty close to the top over there as well. But yeah, we've done it, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Also, is Sam Spade on the list? If it is, I have a great extra for you. Howard Duff playing Sam Spade on the Burns and Allen show. It was super funny. Keep up the good work, from Lance. Well, Lance, I do have it on my list. It's going to be a while till we get to it. Preliminarily, I've got it planned to be a Monday show. And I did hear that episode of Burns and Allen. I loved it. That is one of my absolute favorites, is Burns and Allen. That's got that's got to be pretty top in terms of radio comedy teams. The episode with Howard Duff in the Gracie Meets Sam Spade episode was a bit classic, so I would definitely have that in mind as an extra. All right, well, that's it for this week with Sherlock Holmes. Join us tomorrow for yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and we'll be back next Thursday with another great adventure from Sherlock Holmes. Today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for your support. And I want to thank Harris, who sent in a nice donation. We'll be sending all along access to our premium site, as we do with all donations of $7 or more. All right, well, it's time for today's episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. And while I'm sure that Andrew will do all he can with it, the audio quality isn't very good. So enjoy today's episode, though. This one is called The Oklahoma Red Matter.
For your listening enjoyment, John Lund as Johnny Dollar.
Frank Ahern at Universal Adjusters, Johnny.
Oh, hi. How are you, Frank?
Well, a little worried at the moment. Can you help me out?
Well, that depends on what I have to do.
You have to take a little trip for one thing. A farm near Lexington, Kentucky.
Well, it's a slow time of the year to get out in the country. What else?
Talked to a man named Calcor there. Had a racehorse that's insured for $65,000.
I hate to have to pay the premium on that kind of policy.
Well, that's just it, Johnny. Got a wire on my desk here from a man in Calcor's business office. The horse was seriously injured and had to be destroyed.
Wow. No wonder you're worried, Frank. I'll be right over. John Lund in another adventure of a man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
While we take a breather from our program, I'd like to ask you a question. Do you know who Uncle Sam's lawyer is? If your answer is the Attorney General, you're absolutely right. But being legal advisor to the President and other governmental agencies is only part of his job. His main task is running the Department of Justice, which makes sure that the laws passed by Congress are carried out, and that lawyers are available when the government must be represented in court. Let me give you an example. Suppose there is some question concerning the amount or kind of tax you should pay, or suppose you and the government don't agree as to which of you owns certain land. That's when the Department of Justice steps in to represent the government side of the case. If anyone is brought to trial for counterfeiting, smuggling, gold hoarding, or passport forging, the Department of Justice prosecutes the case. It also handles all matters dealing with legal immigration. And all of this activity is the responsibility of an important member of the President's Cabinet, the Attorney General. Just as it is the duty of the United States government to protect each and every one of you, it is the duty of the Attorney General to protect the government of the United States.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Universal Insurance Adjusters, Suite 814, Kittredge Building, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Oklahoma Red Matter. Expense account item 1, $107.80. Airfare and incidentals between Hartford and Lexington. Item 2, $5.50. Transportation from the airport to the Great Southern Hotel, where I checked in and changed clothes. Then to an address on Peach Avenue, Calgar and Company, Incorporated. Mr. Calgar is never here, Mr. Dollar. Spent all of his time at the farm. You'll have to see him there. Well, maybe I won't have to bother him at all. How about Mr. Monroe? Mr. Monroe isn't with Mr. Calgar's office anymore. That's funny. He was yesterday afternoon when he sent my company this wire about the policy. He and Mr. Calgar, ended things. I might as well tell you. Oh. Well, is there anybody else around here I can talk to about this? I think you'll have to see Mr. Calgar. A phone call to the Calgar Farms disclosed that Mr. Calgar was out for the day. Another half hour of conversation in the office, and the reluctant clerk finally gave me a name and an address. He was a tall, lanky man who never took his hat off. Dr. Pierce, veterinarian.
Bald oak from red, huh?
Yeah. The people who wrote policy sent me down from Hartford.
Is there something wrong?
Matter of procedure, Doctor. Mr. Kilgore's office has filed claim for a $65,000 indemnity. Apparently, Mr. Monroe, who handled these things for Mr. Kilgore, is no longer with him.
Yes, I understood the quarrel.
And Mr. Kilgore is not around at the moment.
I don't get it. If Lord Kilgore has been buying that much insurance, he's got a right to file a claim for it.
Just good business to get the price, that's all. You treated the woman?
Yes.
The wire said something about a piece of machinery.
A tractor with the blades up. He had right back into it hard. Cut through his right hamstring all the way to the bone.
Do you make out a report in a case like this?
In any case. The animal's just like a human. Some of them are liable to get scared or hurt sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Oh. Most of the tenders were cut, huh?
Those that weren't fettered were rusted.
Uh-oh. Yeah. It's notation about the carcass. Cremated on the premises. Why so fast?
Kilgore wanted it that way?
Well, that'll make my job a little more complicated. Unless we took some x-rays.
There was no need to. Paralysis had already set in by the time I got there. What do you need him for?
Proof that the injury occurred more than anything else. Mr. Kilgore called you right after it happened, did he?
That's right. I got there maybe 10 minutes later. Floyd was alone with the horse. And the minute I laid eyes on that animal, I knew.
And you advised Mr. Kilgore he had to be destroyed?
I didn't have any choice.
Did you consider calling in another vet?
No use doing that.
Did Mr. Kilgore ask you to call in another vet?
No, Mr. Dollar. He took my word for it. Why don't you?
Part of my job, Dr. Pierce. I can't take anybody's word for anything. Expense account item 3, 30 cents. For the 5 airmail stamps, it took to mail a copy of the complete injury report to a veterinarian service in Cleveland. Item 4, $25, car rental. That afternoon, I drove out to the Kilgore breeding farm. Like most of the others I'd passed, it was complete with white fences, rolling hills, blue grass, and a stately colonial residence, just like the movies. A sullen, attractive girl in her early 20s met me at the door. I told her my name and who I wanted to see.
You're not an insurance salesman. You hear about Red. What happened to him, aren't you?
That's right.
I'm Mr. Kilgore.
I'm glad to know you.
How much did Daddy have Red insured for?
$65,000. I don't know whether I'm supposed to discuss this with you, Miss Kilgore.
If Red had gotten on the tracks this year, he'd have doubled that. Tripled it, probably. There's not enough money in the world to afford that horse. He was a great horse.
He must have been. I'm sorry this happened.
Dad couldn't have stopped Red.
Oh, I understand he was injured beyond hope.
That's a lie.
What's that?
Dad couldn't have shot him. He just couldn't have done it. Red was the only thing around this whole place worth anything.
It wasn't the horse injured?
That's what they'll all tell you. But I can tell you something else.
What are you talking about, anyhow?
It was a terrible thing to do.
Go to your room.
It was just like murder, and you know it.
Lucy?
It was murder.
Stop it. Anytime I've ever had to shoot a horse around here, he gets like that. And that way ever since he was a little girl.
I see.
I knew I'd have to put up with her acting like that. But I'm reluctant to apologize to you for her actions. Ed Pierce told me you were in to see him.
I wish you hadn't. I intended to tell you myself, Mr. Kilgore. If I've offended you, I'm sorry for it.
Makes me look like I'm doing something shady. You could have come to me instead of going to him.
I tried to. We have to go to everybody. Dr. Pierce ordered the horse destroyed. Seemed like a fair opening to go to him and ask why.
What do you want from me?
All the information you can give me about the accident. Now, no matter what you think of me or my methods, I'm the man assigned to this case. This report has to be complete before your claim can be paid.
You always handle a case this way.
Well, that's the way I'm handling this one.
They don't know what they're doing sending a man like you here.
You filed a claim by wire. What did you expect?
That fool Monroe filed the claim. I'd have waited until things around here calmed down a little.
Is that why you fired him?
That's one reason. Are you here to accuse me of something?
Look, there's $65,000 at stake here. We'll pay it out when we're satisfied all the circumstances were proper and not before.
I'm not afraid of you, Dollar, or your insurance company. I don't like your snooping around my office talking to my friends about me. No man would.
If I don't get my information from you, I'll get it somewhere else. What I've seen of you so far and what information I have got hasn't been in your favor.
I don't like that kind of talk.
You don't seem to like anything about this. Now, how about it? Do we keep this up, or do we get down to business?
The trainer was bringing Red back from his exercise. Outside the store, Red got scared. Mouse or something, and he reared back into that blaze. When Doc got here, he said Red didn't have a chance, so I shot him, that's all.
Explainer, what's his name?
Jim Knight. He isn't around anymore. I fired him right then and there. Told him to get off my property.
Who else was there?
No one. The rest of them were up at the house having dinner.
Oh, fine. How about right afterwards?
I just called out to Pierce. We handled it.
Been better if you'd left the remains for us to examine.
Dollar, I got maybe 150 head on this farm. Now and then accidents happen. One of my stock is dead. I get rid of it as fast as I can. That's the way I operate.
Where can I get in touch with Jim Knight? Where did he go?
I don't know. He took the things and cleared out as fast as he could. He knew better than to hang around here.
What do you mean by that?
What I said, he knew better. That's what I mean.
Did your daughter see any of this?
Lucy. You mean those crazy things she was saying when I walked into the room?
In view of the crazy circumstances, what she was saying might be worth listening to.
Pipe dream.
I'd like to talk to her just the same.
Abbott! Abbott!
Come.
You can talk to anybody you like, Dollar. You've already got all the information you're going to get from me. Justin, Mr. Chicago? Justin? Show him out. This way, sir.
Never mind. I can find my own way. When I left Lloyd Calgore, I wasn't sure whether I'd talked to a sane man or not. Calgore's belligerent attitude seemed to permeate the whole farm. The horse handlers I talked to were grumbling and complaining, and I was able to learn nothing from them except a Baltimore address for Jim Knight. However, I did talk to Lucy Calgore again, down by the stables.
I thought you left a long time ago.
I wanted to talk to you before I did.
What about, Mr. Dollar? Your business is with my dad, not with me.
Oh, pardon me if I seem a little confused. Earlier today, you were very anxious to tell me something.
Was I?
Yes, you were. What is this, anyhow?
I wish we hadn't met at all.
But we did. And you said there was no need to destroy the horse after it had been injured. Did you mean the horse could have been saved? Did you have a reason for saying something like that?
I've just been very upset lately. All of us around here have.
Yeah, I'm getting that way myself.
Red was the best horse we've had in the stable in 5 years. We've all been counting on him since he was a colt. And when this stupid thing happened, it just turned all of us upside down.
Is that your explanation for the things you said to me?
Yes, for the moment. Please don't ask me any more questions right now.
The Calgores were turning out to be a dandy pair to deal with. Back in town, I checked on Calgore's financial situation. It was good, as far as the local banks were concerned. Expense account item 5, $2.20, telegram. One to Hartford requesting further information regarding Calgore's credit standing. The other to Baltimore, Maryland, addressed to Jim Knight. The next morning, I received an answer to the latter. Johnny Dollar.
Baltimore, Maryland, calling Mr. Dollar. You want to know Dollar?
Sure.
Ready here with your call to Mexican. Go ahead. Thank you. Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Is this Mr. Dollar, the man who sent the telegram?
Yes. Who's this?
I'm Jimmy Knight's mother. The wire said it was important for him to get in touch with you. I thought I'd better call and tell you where you could reach him.
Well, that's very kind.
Now, he's at the Calgore farm near Lexington. You can reach him there through Mr. Lord.
Wait a minute.
Calgore.
He left there 3 days ago, Mrs. Knight. Didn't he come home?
Why, no. Well, are you sure he isn't at the Calgore place?
I'm positive. Do you have any other ideas where he could be?
No. But this doesn't sound like him, Mr. Dollar. He couldn't just go off without letting me know about it.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure he's my son. Maybe there's something wrong.
Yeah. Maybe there is. And now, with our star, John Lund, we bring you the second act of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar. When I talked to Jim Knight's mother in Baltimore, the Calgar claim was just about at a draw. I had a strong suspicion that the death of the horse had not occurred as reported. On the other hand, I had found no apparent reason for Calgar to do away with an animal that was evidently more valuable than the insurance had carried. It came down again to searching for the only other witness, Jim Knight. I promised his mother I'd have him contact her if I found him anywhere around Lexington. But that didn't seem likely after re-questioning several people at the Calgar farm.
Now, this is where Mr. Knight stayed all the time he was here, Mr. Dollar.
Uh-huh.
You can see for yourself it's all cleared out. Not a stitch left.
Did you happen to see him leave?
No, sir. Right after the accident, he's gone. Just like that.
I wonder if any of the others saw him.
We talked about that. Nobody saw him go.
Did he have a car?
No, sir.
Well, he had to have a suitcase or two. How do you suppose he got away from here, then?
Adam, I guess. I don't know. He could have lugged him out to the road and flagged himself a ride or waited for the bus.
Maybe someone drove him?
Miss Lucy might have, sir. She drove Mr. Knight around now and then.
That business you were telling me about before, it'll have to be looked into, Lucy.
Why?
Because you intimated that your father and Dr. Pierce might be lying about the whole thing. You realize that if there's any truth to that, your father would be liable to criminal charges.
I know. I was just trying to put Dad in a bad light.
Well, he's not in a very good one right now.
It was just a spite, and that's all there is to it. See, Dad and I have been arguing for weeks now.
And when I walked in the door yesterday, you saw a way to get back at him, is that it?
Something like that.
Is that Oklahoma Red up there?
Mm-hmm. I took the picture myself.
Well, I'm no horseman, but he looks like a lot of horse.
He was. You know that the worst broken-down plug who ever pulled a drunk driver has more dignity than any man who ever lived.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. What's the trouble between you and your father?
A man named Jim Knight. Used to work here as a trainer.
Yeah, I heard. I was going to ask you about him.
Yes, I thought you might. Jim and I saw quite a bit of each other, and Dad never liked that.
Why?
Well, I suppose because I'm all he has left. Mother and Bob, he was my older brother. They were killed in an accident a few years ago. Dad had been looking for an excuse to get rid of Jim.
Your father doesn't strike me as the kind of man who'd have to give an excuse to fire someone he didn't like.
You think he's mad?
What?
Nothing. Jim was a good trainer. Very good with work, most important. When the accident happened, I can imagine what Dad had to say to him when he fired him.
You know where I can find him now?
No. He didn't say a word to me when he left. Not even goodbye.
Lucy, you suppose your father will ever calm down enough so I can talk to him?
I don't know. The Calgars have always been a terribly angry bunch of people. Very emotional. There doesn't seem to be much of a let-up these days.
Is that what you meant when you asked me if I thought he was mad?
I suppose so. It's almost as if he's on the verge of something lately, something desperate. His moods frighten me sometimes. They didn't used to. And I was thinking, a couple of years ago, Daddy bought a new car. We were out driving one day, and something went wrong. When he was so angry, he just smashed it into a cement wall and left it.
Lucy, tell me about Jim Knight.
I was in love with him from the first day he came to work here. I still am. That's all there is to tell.
I saw Lucy Calgar again the following afternoon when I returned to talk with her father. He told me he was gone and wouldn't be back until evening. I spent some more time with the people on the farm, trying to find out anything that would help, but nothing did. That night, when I picked up my key at the hotel desk, there was a message to call Operator 18 in Hartford. It was Frank Ahern.
Calgar's got a very good rating. He's done his branch and he doesn't money.
Well, then that angle is practically out, Frank. There's just no reason for him to kill that animal that I can think of.
How about the other?
No one seems to know what happened to Jim Knight.
As far as we go, John?
Somehow I feel there's more to it. What it is, I don't know, Frank. It beats me.
How about going to the police and asking them to help you locate that?
Something just occurred to me, Frank.
What?
Calgore hasn't threatened to go to the insurance commission or to sue us yet.
That's usually pretty sensitive for a man like him.
Yeah, it is. If he's got a just claim.
What is it now, Mr. Dolly? It's late.
I just talked to my office in Hartford, Dr. Pierce. They aren't very happy with the way this case has been going.
Is that so?
They're about ready to close it and call me home.
Do you mean they'll pay the claim?
No, I don't mean that at all.
Hmm?
Look, Doctor, I spent some time checking you out because you're one of the parties who can help settle this thing. You've been in practice around Lexington for 32 years. People think a lot of you.
And they take my word.
Well, I don't. I can't. I'd hate to see a nice guy like you get the book. I think I can stop it, if you'll cooperate.
The book? What do you mean?
Forget I'm an insurance investigator. I'm just a guy giving you some information. When I said my adjustment company is ready to close the case, I mean that Calgore will have to sue for a settlement. In court, he'll have to produce Jim Knight and prove his story. With what we have so far, he'll lose the suit, and the insurance company will file charges against him for attempting to defraud. And they won't fool around. There's more outfit tougher than an insurance company when somebody's trying to cheat him. And, you'll have to be in court, too. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how about it?
I've been his friend for 18 years.
And he asked you to lie for him. That's understandable to me. But in a court, it's perjury. False testimony.
What does it do to me?
That's up to the company. I'll have to hear your part of it first.
Oklahoma Red was dead when I got there. He hadn't been in any accident. Lloyd made me promise to tell you that. Lloyd just got it.
Just got it? Why?
Well, Red wasn't the horse Lloyd thought he was. Great confirmation that it just wouldn't run. Lloyd got the man.
Shot. And Knight saw it. Is that it?
Yeah. Lloyd probably gave him some money to go with. I don't know. He's losing his mind, I think.
I've heard that about him before.
From who?
Lucy?
Yeah. She had a reason. Like I said, I've known Calgore for 18 years.
Expense account item 6, 35 cents. I lost it in a payphone trying to get in touch with Calgore. No one answered, so I drove out. Hey in there. Open up. Open up. Open up, somebody. Open up.
Mr. Dollar, sir. Good evening.
Hello, Abbott. Can you hear me?
Mr. Dollar, maybe this ain't such a good time to be coming around.
Is Mr. Calgore back yet?
Yes, sir, he is. But
I'd like to see him.
Mr. Dollar, please,
Hi, Abbott. You go on ahead.
All right, Miss Lucy.
Hello, Johnny. Dad's not in a very good mood.
Neither am I. Hey, you've been crying. What's this?
Oh, I just don't seem to be able to do anything with baby.
There now.
Oh, Johnny, I'm so happy.
Take your hands off her.
What?
I said take your hands off her. I'll kill you.
Johnny, be careful.
Oh, you. Kill one man for that kind of thing. Lucy, baby.
No, don't touch me. What? Johnny,
He's got his pain.
I'll get a doctor.
No, where'd he go?
I don't know. What's that mean? Johnny, did you hear?
About killing someone else?
He was talking about Jim. Johnny, Oh, Johnny.
I called the local sheriff's office and then took a look around the grounds. All the cars were still in the garages. Then I heard some sort of disturbance near the stables.
Don't come any closer. I've got a shotgun here.
I got a gun, too.
Go away from here.
The police will be here any minute. This won't do you any good. Galgar. Be better if you're in the house, ready to make a statement. Dr. Pierce told me he lied for you. And you said you'd killed someone. Was it Jim Knight?
I told you to go away from here.
You'd better come out.
I'm going to pay a whole bunch of you.
Don't do anything foolish. You didn't have to do it this way, Caldor. Like so.
Nice bubble. Under the floor. All these things with it. You know about Red.
I know.
Night tried to stop me. But I was crazy. I'm not, am I, Dollar?
Take it easy.
I'm not crazy.
Well, that's that. Expense account item 7, $37.50, miscellaneous. Item 8, same as 1, transportation back to Hartford. Expense account total, $286.45. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Welcome back. Well, I don't remember. One thing I remember, this episode is another one of those that was done for the 15-minute episodes. Though, as I recall, they set that particular episode over in Virginia when they did that version. So we may get a clearer and a better version of the story when we get to the 15-minute Johnny Dollars. All right, well, now it's time for listener comment and feedback. Let's see here. Vinny comments, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for filling a gap that has long been empty. I love the theater of the mind. I love that it's gone back into my teens. It started with a drama that I really wish I could remember the title, but I recall it being some drama that took place in Brazil or some South American country. But your podcasts are fabulous. Currently, I'm listening to episode 521, so I have a ways to catch up. Then there's Dragnet and Superman to start listening to, so I have plenty to listen to. Plus, I only started at episode 388, which is what iTunes started at. So I'll need to go back and listen to 387 more episodes. Thank you again so much. Well, thank you, Vinny. And maybe the series, because you mentioned is some South American. You know, it might be Bold Venture. It was set in Latin America, over in pre-Castro Cuba. So that might be it. And if not, when you get to this, let me know. A Bold Venture with Bogart and Bacall. All right, well, that will actually do it for this week. We will be back on Monday with Barrie Craig, Confidential Investigator, and then join us on Friday for another exciting adventure with yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Send your comments, box 13 at greatdetectives.net. Give us a call, 208-991-4783. But from Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.